Meeting has been provided. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by forwarding a copy to the Courier News, Star Ledger, and posting on the Township website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting, all in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. This meeting will not substantially go past 9:30 p.m.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Kudo?
Here.
Mr. Foster?
Here.
Mrs. Illis?
Here.
Mr. Machado?
Here.
Mr. Moran? Mrs. Pogue?
Here.
Mayor Devaney?
I'm here. Will you all please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we do have a proclamation this evening in recognition of Mesothelioma Day. So I'd like to call Darcy forward. Do you want to talk for a few minutes while this is meaningful to you, if you don't mind?
I try not to cry.
It's okay.
So mesothelioma is a rare cancer which impacts many across the country and across the world. I'm actually on the board of the Mesothelioma Foundation. My mother, Bonnie Anderson, passed away 2.5 years ago from cancer. She was a 21-year warrior. She lived in Berkeley Heights with us for about 20 years. We both grew up in Linden, New Jersey, who also recently put out a proclamation, and we've gotten one from the state of New Jersey as well. So Mesothelioma Awareness Day is September 26th. We ask that you all remember those that have passed due to the cancer, but those and their families that are still suffering from this horrible disease. The Mesothelioma Applied Research Foundation is the only real not-for-profit, not funded by law firms and not funded by other organizations, that helps patients, provides patient support services. I'm on the board of that foundation. It is a not-for-profit. If you're looking for somewhere to donate funds, it's a really small organization. We also do fund some clinical research as well. So it's a wonderful organization. I've been on the board for 3 years and hope to continue for quite a while. So we're actually doing a match for donations that the board has often to put out for Meso Day, and they'll be matching dollar for dollar up to $5,000. So we're really small. You can tell when you start to look at the numbers, but with the 25th anniversary of 9/11 coming next year, we're already starting to see cases from asbestos and chemicals from 9/11. The New York doctors are starting to see cases of meso come in. So it's going to continue many ways, but it's in some of the older schools. It's in the do-it-yourself projects in homes. If you think about asbestos from years ago, so the chemical is still out there, and unfortunately, it's still used in places at times. So hopefully, we can eradicate it and eventually get rid of the cancer.
Thank you so much for your service and honoring your mom. Proclamation, Township of Berkeley Heights. Whereas mesothelioma is an aggressive and incurable cancer that affects the linings of the lungs, abdomen, and other organs, and where meso is often associated with exposure to asbestos, and whereas asbestos was heavily used in the military, shipbuilding, manufacturing, industry, and construction of virtually all office buildings, public schools, and homes built before 1980, and has been recognized as the worst occupational health disaster in U.S. history. And whereas asbestos continues to be present in such structures to this day, and whereas there's no safe level of asbestos exposure, one fiber at a time can be enough to cause mesothelioma. And whereas because of occupational, military-related, household, or incidental exposure, and the latency of this disease ranging from 10 to 50 years between exposure and disease development, tens of millions of Americans are now at risk for developing mesothelioma, including first responders from Ground Zero in New York City on and after September 11th. We just celebrated on Monday. Whereas the 5-year survival rate is only 12%, and the Mesothelioma Applied Research Foundation was formed to eradicate the life-ending and vicious effects of meso. And progress is finally being made in developing effective treatments for this disease. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and the Township Council of the Township of Berkeley Heights be hereby proclaim September 26th, 2025, Mesothelioma Awareness Day in order to raise public awareness of the disease and of the need to develop effective treatments for it. approved the 16th day of September 2025.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Okay, we are going to go into an executive session.
First, we're tabling the resolution.
Okay. Yeah, we can do it that way. All right.
So I would like to make a motion to move resolution number 2025-268 from the consent agenda and add it to the regular agenda.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster,
Yes.
Mrs. Illis,
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes,
Mrs. Polk.
Yes.
and I would like to make a motion to table resolution 2025-268.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis,
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
Yes,
Mrs. Polk.
Yes.
Who has who's going to read the resolution? Oh. Okay, it's usually John.
Resolution pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12, moving the public meeting into executive session. Whereas the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act and Act NJSA 10:4-1 et sec expressly provide that a public body may move into executive session and exclude the public from that portion of a meeting in which the public body discusses any of the 9 areas set forth in NJSA 10:4-12B. And whereas the Township Council, Township of Berkeley Heights, has determined it necessary to move into executive session to discuss the following subjects, all of which are included in the aforesaid exceptions: attorney-client privilege, condo zoning ordinance, and affordable housing obligations. Now therefore be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Berkeley Heights that it does hereby move into executive session pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12B to discuss the aforesaid matters, and it is further resolved that the aforesaid discussions shall be made public either at a public meeting following said executive session, or at such time as any litigated or personnel matters are concluded, or upon conclusion of any negotiations or related discussions, or as otherwise specified. And it is further resolved that this resolution shall take effect pursuant to law. Approved 16th day of September 2025.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis,
Yes.
Mr. Machado,
yes.
Mrs. Polk.
Yes.
Okay, we will now go into executive session and we'll return to vote on the rest of the agenda.
Feels May ranges.
Oh, and that's my.
A little hot air left. Yeah. A little hot air left the room.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right?
This is good. I don't want anybody calling me.
I don't think so. The door always shuts.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot the flag. I had to have DPW go get it.
Oh.
I just.
Every time I forget to flag.
I'm not.
Okay. Welcome back, everyone. Bill, I think you're going to lead this discussion on the chicken ordinance, which has been, I think, a vague ordinance. There's been a lot of questions surrounding it. I'm going to ask you to maybe give us a brief outline of the ordinance, and then we can discuss what the council wants to do going forward.
Well, apparently, it has been a little ambiguous, this ordinance of ours. I mean, because, at first blush, when you look at it, it indicates that we do not allow chickens in our town. However, very next sentence indicates that, unless it's approved by the Department of Health. And so the DOH really doesn't want that responsibility. Now, I know that there's many of you here that see nothing wrong with having chickens in our town. I personally, I'm an animal control officer. I work for the city of Plainfield, and they specifically put in an ordinance which is indicating a chicken ordinance where they do not allow chickens any longer. That was put in place a couple of years ago. I'm still coming across many people in Plainfield that have chickens. And once I discover them, basically I give them about 10 days to rehome their chickens. In this situation, I personally feel that, I mean, I love chickens. They're social beings. I absolutely adore them. I think, we had a discussion with the Department of Health last week, and I just want to go over some of the things that we discussed. So, potential benefits of allowing chickens. Education and awareness. Urban poultry can foster understanding of food systems, agriculture, and sustainability. Nutrition. Fresh eggs may contribute to healthier diets for residents. And community engagement. Properly managed flocks could enhance neighborhood interactions and awareness of responsible animal husbandry. Now, those are all very good things, but there are some risks and public health concerns, starting with diseases. Chickens and other poultry can carry pathogens like salmonella and posing risks to children, immunocompromised individuals, and the wider community. Vector control. Chickens attract rodents, and I've seen it firsthand, as well as insects. And if not maintained properly, it can be quite a concern. Noise and odor. Though roosters are disallowed, hens may still contribute to noise, especially during dawn, and generate odors if care and waste management are insufficient. And lastly, animal welfare and oversight. Ensuring proper housing, food, care, veterinary attention is essential, but may overextend local enforcement capacities. And that's one thing that we should definitely be aware of, that at this very moment, we don't know who will be involved in examining the chicken coops and enforcing the law. Now, if we decide to go ahead and allow chickens under certain conditions, These are the recommendations. And there are quite a few. So we'll start with permit system and conditions. Explicitly include hens only. No roosters are allowed. Require applications to provide detailed coop design, maintenance plans, and waste management protocols. And lastly, limit eligibility to backyard scale. Example, maybe maximum anywhere between 4 and 6 chickens. Health and sanitary standards. Cooperate with local vets or agricultural extension services to develop sanitary guidelines and vet care resources. And require coop setbacks from property lines and allow notification to your neighbors and regular inspection by our local health department. Education and operational requirements. Permit holders should complete training on disease prevention, proper sanitation, and responsible flock management. I've seen in Plainfield, I mean, honestly, it's just, it is very concerning because there's not many people doing proper flock management. As well as promote vaccination of poultry where recommended and enforce rooster ban explicitly and consistently. And last but not least, enforcement and renewals. Implement annual renewal process for permits with compliance checks. Not sure who's going to be doing these compliance checks. And establish penalties for violations, including revocation of permits for unsanitary conditions or repeated nuisance complaints. So my concern, once again, is, they do attract rodents. Obviously, we can't just continue to maintain or sweep up after them consistently every day. There will be rodents, and then with rodents come those vector species like foxes and perhaps coyotes as well. Even raccoons, we recently had. Right, but they will be more prevalent within the area of the chickens. I mean, of course, they're here. I mean, and as we continue to develop, we're squeezing them out everywhere. So in the meantime, though, I mean, what we're talking about is the fact that, as I said, I really do like chickens. I love chickens. I would love to have chickens in my backyard, but in the end, it can be an overwhelming situation on behalf of the chicken owner. So you're going to have to abide by the rules. And right now, we don't have anyone at this very particular moment, whether or not we're going to have, let's say, an animal control officer like myself to go ahead and do the inspections, or the Department of Health, or zoning. And zoning would also have to be involved. I mean, especially with the coop maintenance and, adhering to the setbacks. And that's all I have right now.
So what was the recommendation of the Board of Health, the Berkeley Heights Board of Health?
Well, the Berkeley Heights Board of Health recommends that we do not have chickens within our township.
Are there any other municipalities that you're aware of that has an effective ordinance that allows chickens with the types of things that you outlined as the concerns addressed?
Right, so we have several municipalities that allow chickens, but I'm not quite sure who is actually doing the ongoing compliance with those coops. So far from what I gathered, they're not having many issues, but I have never really done a deep dive. I mean, so we have Scotch Plains, we have Clark, I believe Fanwood also, to name a few.
That's permitted.
Can I ask a question, Bill? So if, let's say, a family wanted their backyard chickens and the coop needed to be approved, and that would be a permit, a fee, would the township expect people, the owners, the chicken owners, to pay for the check-ins? The sanitary check-ins and things like that? Would it be a fee, or would the whole township have to bear the cost of inspecting the chickens?
It's a great question, because right now that's up in the air, whether or not, let's say, the chicken owner would be required to pay for the for the actual welfare checks that either our zoning officer or someone like myself would go out. We do have an agreement with the Plainfield Humane Society. They are currently handling our animal control services. And according to the existing agreement, they would be charging the city, I'm sorry, our town, $50 every time they have to go out for a chicken call.
So I'm gonna tell you, I'm a fan of the chickens, but I would want to make sure that the money that it cost the township was solely on the backs of the chicken owner and not on every resident in the township.
I agree.
Just piggybacking off of that, Susan, you said that the Plainfield Humane Society charges us $50 for a visit. Is that a wellness check on a chicken, or is this a coop?
So they're not necessarily qualified to actually perform that type of examination with a chicken coop. I mean, they just come out, if there is, let's say, a livestock situation or exotic animal or, some small animal that falls under that definition, if they need to come out to assess the situation, they will charge our town $50 for that particular visit. But in the end, they are certainly not qualified to do an examination of that nature. Typically, that would be either the Department of Health representative or perhaps the zoning, if we get someone from zoning.
The Department of Health does inspections for like food trucks, and there's a permit fee, and basically the permit fee covers that process is covered by the permit. Right,
So
so
if I could interject for a moment, I'm sorry. So I actually drafted a chicken ordinance that's very similar to what you just described. That was just described up in Teaneck. Which from
Scott, hold on
Yep.
1 second. I just want to let everyone know this is Scott Salmon, our
Yep.
township attorney.
He's the voice of God.
From Disney, not from
Yeah.
heaven. All right, go ahead.
calling in from the gift shop of a rainforest cafe in Animal Kingdom. So I can tell you, I drafted a very similar ordinance to what is being discussed right now up in Teaneck. It's worked extraordinarily well. It limits the number of chickens to four per household. It gives all the detailed requirements of where the coops and runs have to be and what size they have to be and all the setbacks and all that information. And I would suggest that I will send it around to the council. I would suggest that you all chat and take a look at it, because I think it solves a lot of the problems that you're discussing. The way the fees are handled is that anyone who has who has these backyard chickens pays an annual fee. I believe it's $200, but I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. And that covers the cost of any visits or check-ins that need to be done over the course of that year. And then the following year they have to pay the annual fee again.
I'm just looking online here. The New Jersey Department of Agriculture and JDA, Division of Animal Health, is the point of contact for any kind of issues in terms of sanitary or signs of disease in poultry.
Our zoning officer also brought up that if we go forward with the chicken ordinance, that we have to contemplate other fowl, like there's pigeons and there are other issues that have also cropped up
Right,
as well.
So I'm not quite sure whether or not, I know for a fact that there's an individual here in town that has a pigeon coop. I don't know whether or not we would grandfather that individual into this situation if we go ahead and approve this. But we should. We should, as long as he adheres to the recommendations, the same recommendations that we applied for the chicken coop.
Manny, do you have anything to add? I know your son who lives in another town has chickens, or you have a little bit of experience in this area.
Look, I'm for chickens. I think chickens without the roosters are a great idea.
They're lonely, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
They're happy and they lay eggs. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
And there are certain towns in Union County that do a lot of chickens, Fanwood, Cranford, and a few others. So something that it's from what I'm hearing over here, it sounds like the Board of Health doesn't want chickens, but if they did, it would be promulgated with certain rules and regulations to make it happen.
Right.
And that sounds like you're going with a number of about 6.
I like 4 better. I
Uh,
heard Scott say 4.
Yeah, but
yeah,
group sizes are running between 6 to 8. I checked with a few of the people who have small groups, and the 6 to 8 is the count. 4 is not enough for. I'm not saying not enough for a family, it's not enough for the chickens, they're social animals. And 4 chickens get kind of, well, 6 chickens seems to work really well.
all right, so a half a dozen, I mean, we could always argue this, but 4 to 6, I mean, I would not. No, I'm saying we don't have to go beyond a half a dozen, I would say, but I mean, Scott, when you have a moment, if you could forward that information over to us, I mean, sounds like T-Neck is doing very well with it. Perhaps maybe we could dovetail off of T-Neck and see if we can also do it as well.
I know years ago when I was looking for a house to buy, we looked out in Long Valley and other parts of, Morris County where it was more rural and it was regular for people to have coops in their backyards. But I just never really considered that in Berkeley Heights because our yards aren't that big.
I've seen this,
Come on.
there are people that I know that are chicken coops in Berkeley Heights.
Well, I'm not,
Yeah.
I've seen several residents with chicken coops.
so. My sister-in-law had chickens in her backyard. There are bugs, there are vermin.
Yes,
I understand it can be controlled, but it takes a very responsible.
Yes.
Chicken coop owner. The coops have to be cleaned out
Yes.
regularly to avoid the smell.
Yep.
And so if a family goes away for a weekend, then they're not cleaning the coop every day that they're away.
It gets cleaned every few days, and what gets cleaned out is great fertilizer.
Mm.
It's sold off at different garden centers. And as for the insects, the rodent infestation, I can attest that they do appear. But the insects, they don't stand a chance.
Chickens eat insects.
Chickens eat a lot of things,
Mhm.
including rodents. And if there's small rodents, chickens are gone. The biggest problem is people poisoning the rodents and the chickens eating the rodents and dying.
so just to be clear too, I mean, I've seen chickens not only attacked by foxes, but raccoons as well. And if we move forward on this, just be prepared. I mean, you need to make sure that your coop is well secured because raccoons will manage to open up those gates. I mean, they're very dexterous. So I would, obviously, once we move forward on this, if we do move forward on this, we would have to make sure that these coops are very well maintained.
Scott, how did you address the potential odor issue with the T-neck ordinance?
That was handled by limiting the number of chickens and requiring a maintenance plan for how we can, how we can be maintained, how frequently, all that.
How long has the ordinance been in effect?
The ordinance itself has been in effect, I want to say 8 months now, I believe. They had a different it's like a different ordinance before that. So there are lots of chicken coops out there throughout T-neck. So it was not a significant change. I'm not sure how long the previous ordinance had been in effect, but it had been at least a few years.
Okay.
Well, maybe our department or health department can also check with the towns that do allow, and we can probably hybrid something together. But we do have larger lots than parts of Plainfield.
Well, I think it's a zoning issue when we start talking about the setbacks. And obviously, hopefully your neighbors will be okay with that because there's no doubt it will attract rodents. It will. And I remember having a situation a few years ago where I had no idea my bird feeders were attracting rodents until my next door neighbor said, "Bill, I saw a rat the other day and it looks like it's coming from your direction." So, I mean, I stopped doing the bird feeders during the summer months, whatever, and I only do it during the winter, and then that's it.
John, you have any thoughts?
The only question I have is what Bill had mentioned about is running across several township organizations, health department, zoning department, building department, the planning. And I guess this question goes to Scott. Who handles it up there? Do they have their own single person that handles all of that and goes out and does inspection stuff, or does it run across, is it multifaceted as far as who handles it?
So no, all that is handled by the health department up in Teaneck. I believe they had a specific person that, went out and received a significant amount of training, but it all goes through them.
Okay, do they have an in-house health department, or do they use county, or are they countywide? That's
No,
where-
they have their own in-house.
They're in-house, okay.
Yep, yep.
Okay, well, that's where,
We don't have
we-
that.
yeah, we don't have an in-house health department, we use Union County, so. The wheels.
I'd like to know, like, what the-
Wagon on that one.
Right, but I'd like to know what the NJ Department of Agriculture can do as a shared service with us perhaps before we say we can't do it because we don't have our own health coordinator.
Yeah, because the inspection really is key to this. So you can't just, say I've got a shed on my property, I'm gonna turn that into a chicken coop. Because the shed could be not within setbacks. So then that's our zoning, and then the coop design is a specific thing. Right, so I don't know that our building inspectors are up to coop design. Or shed.
I think the rule of thumb is, for every large chicken, and we're talking chicken maybe about this big, it requires maybe 4 feet. So for,
4 cubic feet, so 8 chickens, 25 feet.
yeah, so, I mean, so that's sort of, the rule of thumb.
But then you lay in your setbacks off the property lines and stuff like
Right.
that, with the house, and it's like putting a patio or a deck on. You have to, you have to, there's gonna be certain regulations that that are gonna have to be followed, so
Mhm.
that's why I asked the question about, is this multi-agency? Does it run across that, and will we run into any complications, because
Well, your setbacks might determine how many chickens someone can get. Versus how many chickens you want for your setback.
Well, zoning.
With a patio or a shed, you have to go before the planning board or the zoning board and
Right.
get approval. And
Mhm.
so if there's not enough property to have chickens, you get declined.
And I think it would also depend on whether it would be considered a permanent structure or a movable structure. So, like, I can put up one of those, plastic snap together sheds anywhere on my property. There's no zoning for that because it isn't affixed to the ground. But if I want to put in a proper shed, then that has to meet the side, front and back lot setbacks. So we'd have to define the coop within the code as well.
And I believe that the shared service that we have with Union County for the health officer, they have been very clear about, we're gonna need an additional inspector, which means that our contract will expand, which means we
Yes.
pay more money for another inspector.
Yes,
Well, that'd be charged local to homeowners, so.
Right, we could charge it back, but I just want to be clear that there's an additional cost for that as well.
yes.
Right, any other comments or questions or on this? Okay. I always allow residents to come up and say a few words about this specific conference session. So if you want to make a comment about the potential change in the chicken ordinance, you can come forward now, state your name, address, and please keep your comments to 3 minutes.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
I
evening.
just make an offer before I start my 3 minutes. Any questions you may have on chicken tending, rearing, coop design, flock sizes, anything like that, you're gonna hear from me in a moment. I've been doing this for a long time. We take really good care of our birds. Our girls are family to us. If you have any questions about where to get them, how to feed them, how to keep rodents out, I have very sensitive motion sensing cameras inside my coop. I haven't seen a single rodent. I've never lost a bird to predation despite free ranging them since 2014.
Just
So-
give us your name and address for the clerk
Yep,
for the.
absolutely. Chris Johnson, 6 Chestnut Hill Drive. All right, I just wanted to make that offer before my 3 minutes. I don't want to drag everything out.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and I hope we can work together on this because this is absolutely worthwhile. So, 3 minutes, go, right? Good evening, Mayor, council members, fellow residents. My name is Chris Johnson. I live at 6 Chestnut Hill Drive with my wife, 2 children, our 3 dogs, and our chickens. All hens, no roosters, all right? So, I really want to urge you guys tonight to oppose any kind of ban or restriction on backyard chickens. Again, I'd love to speak to you at length outside of our 3-minute time frame to show you why it's really, really great gain as you laid out, sir. Very, very minimal risk. It really comes down to just wash your hands and don't walk inside with any kind of animal waste on your feet, which if you take care of them is not a problem. So I really think any ban would contradict Berkeley Heights' professed values for environmental stewardship, wellness, and family education. You can come by and see this and pray anytime at our house. We started chicken tending over a decade ago when we lived in New Hampshire. 2014, we got our first birds. And it wasn't a fad we saw on social media. My wife and I have no social media. We don't deal with any of that. It's something that's very important to us. It's a very serious part of our lives. We moved to Berkeley Heights in 2020, and we love seeing on the sign, welcome you to the town where tradition meets tomorrow. We were very excited to be here. We moved to New Jersey for work. We went from New Hampshire to New Jersey, which was a bit of a culture shock, but I'll be honest, we like it a lot better here than we thought. And we moved to Berkeley Heights. I'm serious, it's way better than we thought it would be. All right, never thought I'd hear myself say that, but. So we planned for a year and a half when we moved to Berkeley Heights, probably closer to 2 years. We had a bigger yard. We had great neighbors, wonderful neighbors, all of which are here tonight. Every one of my neighbors around my house is here tonight, and can't thank you guys enough.
See a show of hands of Chris's neighbors here. Oh, that's nice.
Alright.
That's wonderful.
Thank you all. So we planned for a year and a half, closer to 2 years. Part of it was procrastination on my part, trying to get back to New Hampshire to pick up my coop. But we got buy-in from everyone, enthusiastic support for everyone, and we made it happen. We got our coop, we got our chicks, and the results have just been wonderful. Our chickens have provided us with ethically sourced eggs, avoiding factory farm animal products, which it just is a moral issue for us. It's, if you've ever seen, and I know some of you have, I know you have, sir, what factory farming does and where your money goes for. Factory farm eggs don't come into our house. Factory farm beef does not come into our house. We go above and beyond, and we're not always perfect on it, but we try our hardest to make sure that that doesn't happen in our home, and we want our kids to understand why. You'll hear from my wife more about that. They've demolished the tick population in our yard. I've never seen a single rodent. I've never seen a single, predator intrusion into our coop. Right? They've helped our composting. They helped us control pests, and ticks. We have dogs. We haven't had a single tick in our yard since then. Our kids, the lessons that they learn are incredible. How many 8-year-olds do you all know that will voluntarily go out and scoop a chicken coop? Right? My kids back there and their best friends ask to help out to scoop the coop. Right? They don't have to do it. Their friends don't. My kids do. Their friends do not. But they choose to. They collect the eggs. They feed the birds. And if you follow very simple biosecurity practices, you scoop the coop. You don't wear the same shoes outside as you do inside, and you wash your hands. You wouldn't touch dog feces and then touch your face. You wouldn't do the same thing with chickens. If you do that, short of being severely immunocompromised, you're safe. You're very safe with chickens. They support the keeping of chickens, support all the initiatives that the mayor and your council, your wellness commission have fostered for environmental stewardship, taking care of our food, eating healthier, getting outside, getting away from screens. I don't have to tell you the damage that screens are causing to our kids. You all have been working on it, and the school, the Board of Ed has been doing some great stuff to try and curtail that, but it has to start at home. In fact, keeping with the town, I saw a sign in the library just the other day that September is National Chicken Month. So I don't know if you all did this on purpose or not, but if you go to the library in the children's section, you'll see it's National Chicken Month. So my congratulations, sir, to Amelia. If you see her, Amelia Bedelia the chicken, please tell her we said thank you. And for us, this is a bigger part. Like I mentioned, we're deeply opposed to factory farming. I understand there's some necessity to it, but if we don't have to support it, we're not going to. We believe that when God gave man dominion over the earth and its creatures, we're not supposed to abuse these animals. Yes, they have to die so we live, but that doesn't mean we disrespect them. That doesn't mean we treat them poorly. They're part of our family. So many kids and so many adults, and it's not unique to New Jersey. I grew up in Massachusetts, it's the same thing there. They think food is something that comes on the shelf in the store, and they have no respect, they have no love or appreciation for an animal that died, and they waste it and they don't care about it. My kids know the difference. They've been raised differently. They're going to continue to be raised differently. And we want to do everything we can to support you in doing it right. We can show you what we do. We can show you what's worked. You can take care of them. It can be done. It's not going to detract from home values. Everyone in our neighborhood who's here tonight, they love them. We have friends from other towns where they can't have them, bring their kids to meet them. It's an absolute benefit for next to no risk. Again, they're safer than dogs. They're safer than cats. As far as vectors of disease, they're not going to bite you. They've never bitten and killed anyone. As far as I look high and low online, I've never seen anyone killed by a chicken. We have certain dog breeds in our neighborhood that bark all night and lunge at dogs and kids in our neighborhood. And my chickens aren't going to do that. The only way you would know my chickens are there is if you trespassed onto my property and stuck a camera over my fence and took pictures in the curtilage of my home. May or may not have happened. All right, we have neighbors that didn't know.
You know, you're at the 3-minute mark, so.
Thank you, I'm so sorry. All right, so
Just go ahead and sum it up.
thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm not trying to run over time. It can be done safely. It's worth doing. The educational benefits, the health benefits, being outside, treating animals well. We can definitely do this in a way that works for everybody. And I really, again, I want to offer my assistance, whatever I can do. I work in public service. I want to make your jobs easier. I don't want this to be a fight. I want us to be able to work together and make it happen in a way that works for everybody. So please don't ban the birds. We love them. Like, come by and see them. Open invitation, just give us a call. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that.
The head volunteer for the chicken committee.
Yes, they did a chicken committee now, right? You can dance.
You can dance.
I'm Karen Johnson. I'm Chris's wife. I live at 6 Chestnut Hill Drive with my children, our dogs, and our chickens. I'm an 8th generation Vermonter coming from 2 farm families. One was beef and one was dairy. I was taught at a very early age to respect the land, our environment, and the animals we share it with. I'm here tonight to implore you to reject any proposed ban on backyard chickens, as it would devastate families like mine and go against the core principles of wellness, good stewardship, and sustainability that Berkeley Heights stands for. As a mother and a wife, I've poured my heart into our home. Since we moved here, we were drawn by the township welcoming promise of where tradition meets tomorrow. My husband and I began caring for chickens in 2014 when we lived in New Hampshire. It has become a cornerstone of our family's well-being, a simple joy among life's chaos. I would challenge anyone here to feel anything but joy while watching chicken TV. We spent over 1.5 years planning for our flock, consulting our neighbors for their full support to ensure it was right for everyone. The rewards have been profound. Fresh, ethical eggs for our table, steering clear of factory farm meats and produce whenever possible. Our children and their friends have learned invaluable lessons in responsibility by collecting eggs, cleaning the coop, and it pulls them away from screens into fresh air, fostering empathy and real-world skills that align with the council's stated youth initiatives. We get to show our kids and their friends what right looks like. Treating our animals for what they are, gifts from God, from which we are constantly grateful, not a commodity to be used and abused. The mere possibility of a ban has shattered that peace in the last 6 months. I've lost multiple nights of sleep, worrying about being forced to rehome our girls, and what all the other chicken owners in town will do with their flocks, our friends and neighbors. It feels like losing a piece of our family, causing angst, which the Mayor's Wellness Committee is working so hard to combat with programs like the Paint the Town Green, and the Spire model of emotional resilience. Environmentally, our chickens embody the stewardship you promoted via the Bee City USA resolution and composting efforts. They control pests and naturally enrich our soil and reduce our waste footprint, supporting sustainable Jersey goals without a single complaint. A ban would inflict needless cruelty on families with pending permits and those who may consider raising hens in the future, clashing with your environmental wellness and compassionate vision. Please preserve or expand the current chicken code and let us continue this cultural tradition of care. Thank you, guys. I will say I'm a registered nurse. I've had 23 years of experience, and I'd be happy to volunteer to check out coops and educate people. So,
We'll take you up on that.
yeah, thank you.
Like Berkeley Heights coming full circle. We were an agrarian
Yeah.
society when we started. Mhm. Oh, I know.
Previous student?
Not my student, but across the hall. Yeah.
Mike Helper, yeah.
Yeah.
There's mics in the ceiling too, so you don't have to,
Oh.
you can't reach the mic, it's okay.
I'm Juliet Johnson, and I live on 6 Chestnut Hill Drive. I would be angry if we had to get rid of our chickens. I love petting them and getting eggs from our backyard. I eat the eggs for breakfast. Me and my mom bake with them instead of using ones that were laid who knows when from the supermarket, leaving baked goods for everyone to enjoy. Sharing them with neighbors makes me so happy. Not only does it provide for them, it promotes socializing with other families in the neighborhood, which leads to a happy and strong community. Chicken TV is when you watch a chicken scratch around and forage for bugs. When you watch it, it is good for you. It is entertaining but does not require a screen. It also makes you feel good and responsible, like taking care of a baby. It makes you feel accomplished when they are happy. Chickens are not very loud. Some people may think so, but it's not ringing a bell, and I live right next to them. Did you know I can hear the train from my room? But you know what I can't hear? Our chickens. Are you going to ban trains? No, because people rely on them to get to work or visit people. Trains are a basic need for some people. Chickens are a basic need for us. In conclusion, I think we should keep the chickens. Written by Juliet Johnson using the help of AI, actual intelligence.
That was outstanding.
I'm glad the board president is, or the other members of the board of ed to hear that. That was great. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Daniel, and I take care of the chickens. I feed them, I play with them, I clean up after them. They make me very happy. Did you know that backyard chickens make healthier eggs? I would feel very sad if I had to get rid of the chickens. Don't ban the birds.
Thank you, Daniel. That was awesome.
I'm Aiden, and I'm here to say, do not ban the chickens. I play on the soccer team, and I would rather have my soccer team banned than the chickens.
Wow. Wow.
The chickens are one of the best part about their house. They are so fun. I like trying to fix them up.
Is it hard? Is it hard to pick them up? Are they fast? They're fast? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't ban the chickens.
Oh, thank you. That was great. Is his coach here?
Okay, so this is actually hard acts to follow.
Yes, they are.
I'm Tisha Menino. I live at 45 Murray Hill Boulevard, so I'm right across the street from the Johnsons. We've known them since they moved in. They're a lovely, lovely family, always willing to give a helping hand. And we were really excited when they shared that they were going to have some chickens. And they've been so open. It's been wonderful. Even, I mean, my kids are older. My daughter just went to college. My son is 15. They love going over to see the chickens. And I think what a great example to show my kids who, I mean, I don't even garden, but at least they've got a great example with the Johnsons where they see animals being well taken care of. They've tasted the eggs, which are outstanding. They're so, they don't even taste like the eggs in a grocery store. They're learning about sustainability, ethically raising animals, environmental stewardship. And they see that the Johnsons' kids are right in there doing it all and learning this too. And I think it's an amazing example for everyone in the neighborhood. And I live right across the street. If I'm walking my dog on that side of the street, I sometimes notice a gentle cooing, which is actually kind of lovely. Otherwise, you don't hear them at all. So I hope that we as a town can come together and allow, I don't think there's going to suddenly be a ton of people who are raising chickens in their backyard. But for the people who are willing to put in that time and that effort, I think it shows a great example for everybody in the community. So please don't ban the chickens. The Johnsons are fabulous. Their chickens are amazing. And it really does go towards being environmentally friendly and sustainable. And I mean, I walk my dog around our neighborhood. Half of the yards have those signs saying, oh, keep your dogs and your young children off because we've just sprayed pesticide. I mean, come on, that's going into our water supply. At least the Johnsons have their chickens eating their pests. we're not worried about their yard. Anyway, thanks very much for letting us speak to this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jillian Casal. I live at 34 Murray Hill Boulevard. My front yard backs up. We share a fence with the Johnsons. So if the chickens are loud, they're loudest to us. And as a previous town member said, it's more of a gentle coo. I don't think we've noticed any increase in rodents. Certainly, we've saw raccoons before the chickens came to live next door, and I don't think we've seen any increase in them. Certainly haven't seen an increase in foxes or anything like that. I think the Johnsons are a perfect example of what a town would want their town people to do if they were to have backyard chickens. I certainly wouldn't want a large scale chicken coop in my my next door neighbor's house. But having, a small number of chickens that are well tended to and cared for, I think is a great example. And I would encourage you to take up the Johnson's offer for their kind of opinion and consultation. I think they're really probably experts in the field more than a lot of other people. I haven't noticed any increase in bugs, and what I do see is their family outside taking care of the chickens. They offer eggs to us. They've asked us to, when they go out of town, to keep an eye on the chickens and to help collect the eggs, which we willingly do. It's very easy. And it's been a really, I think, great addition to the neighborhood. So it would be sad to see them go, and I hope they stay.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I am John Vogel, 55 Chestnut Hill Drive. Every night, my family and I go for a walk past Chris's house. And do you guys know what chickens sound like?
Yeah.
I don't, and I've never heard them. So, just every night.
Visit them in Long Hill, that's why.
Yeah. But, every night in the summer, sometimes twice a day, my family and my kids would go for a walk, and I don't think I've ever heard a chicken before. Lyme disease, I think in this state, in this county is pretty prevalent. Knowing how much chickens eat in terms of pests, not pests, but bugs and ticks, just knowing that there will be less ticks in my neighborhood for me and my family to conduct Lyme disease, I think that's great. Every time I go to the store, I look at the ingredients of things for pancakes, bioengineered, lab-grown meats. The fact that, their kids can go out every morning and make their own breakfast with farm fresh eggs, I think is incredible. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
Good evening. My name is James Wright. I live at 34 Murray Hill Boulevard. So as Jillian said, we're probably the neighbors that are closest to the coop. And I know prior to Chris and Karen installing it, they came over and talked to us. As you can probably tell from my accent, that I am also a transplant from New Jersey, or from somewhere else to New Jersey. I grew up on a pretty large farm in the state of Kentucky, and a lot of pre-sunrise wake-ups makes me very sensitive to the idea of potentially smelling farm animals, because it brings back some PTSD from childhood. And that's something that's never happened before. As Juliet pointed out, I've never really heard the chickens either. So I know, as everybody's kind of talked about pest and things like that, but I will say that they've been great living next door. No issues, no problems, and just I would be very happy for them to still be there. I mean, I think that it's a great learning experience. I know my time growing up on a farm was pretty great in some ways.
PTSD, right?
Except for the early morning wake ups, but they seem to do it a little bit later than we did. So with that being said, I agree, save the chickens, keep them here, and don't ban them. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Corey Choi, and I live on 5 Murray Hill Boulevard. And every time I go to my friend's house, I love seeing the chicken and petting them. So don't ban them, please.
Hop back to follow here.
Oh.
Okay, well, my name's Joe Mahovsky, 31 Gallinson Drive. Like to start by thanking the members of the town council, Johnson family, my friends and neighbors, for everyone for being here and participating in this process. Definitely appreciate it. I live down the street from the Coop. I consider myself lucky. I went to Rutgers University's Cook College, which was originally established as New Jersey's first agricultural school. I don't know if everybody here knows that, certainly the people from other states. We were originally one of the biggest farm states around, that's why we're called the Garden State. Everybody had a garden. When I was growing up in Somerset County, lots of my neighbors had chicken coops and other animals as well, but let's just concentrate on the chickens. I began my career as a scientist and spent time studying the environment, chemistry, biotech, natural resource management. Now I'm an attorney in the Great Garden State, supporting the life sciences and specifically drug development. I feel my background growing up here provides me with a unique perspective on the challenges our state faces towards our environment and the importance of sustainable food sources. So I'd like to express my enthusiastic support for the Johnson's family's small flock of chickens on their property. I believe this family's backyard chicken coop is a wonderful part of our community, promoting sustainability and providing valuable educational experience for the neighborhood children and adults. There's numerous benefits for keeping chickens at home. They're excellent at composting food scraps, which reduces waste. Their manure is fantastic natural fertilizer for gardens. The eggs are a fresh, local food source, and the chickens can be a delightful pet. As someone who appreciates the simple joys of nature, I believe this initiative aligns perfectly with the values of our health and vibrant community. I borrowed this next part from one of you. I'm not going to say who it is, but I had the pleasure of interacting with some of the residents of the coop before I came here. I asked them for their thoughts on the matter, and they offered some truly compelling perspective. One chicken, a Rhode Island Red with a fiery personality, clucked, bark, 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 which roughly translates to, it's a travesty that we don't have more suburban coops in New Jersey. Another quieter, more thoughtful bantam tilted her head and offered a more poetic observation, bark, 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 which means we are not just a food source, we are a way of life, and we eat bugs. Their points, though delivered with a certain level of feathered flair, highlight the true heart of this matter. Chickens are not just farm animals. They're contributors to a more sustainable, self-sufficient lifestyle, which is what we need in Berkeley Heights and in New Jersey. Allowing the Johnson family and more Berkeley Heights families to have chicken coops would be a small step with a big impact, fostering a closer connection to our food and the environment. It would also send a wonderful example to other families in our communities. Lastly, I hope that the town council and mayor make it easier for our families to have better gardens, chicken coops, and make other common sense steps to a more sustainable future. Thank you all for your consideration.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Chiu Ing. I live in 18 Chestnut Hill Drive, right directly next to the Johnsons. So when Chris decided to have to raise the chicken, and he actually came to me and let me know about it. And after a while, I didn't hear anything from him. So I keep asking, what happened to the chicken? What happened to the chicken? He said, oh, I'm preparing for it. So it took him a long time to set up the chicken coop. So basically, after he set it up and he showed me and how everything works and how he can protect the chicken. So actually, you wouldn't see any predator to actually go into the coop and able to attack the chickens. Also, after they have the chicken, and I see Karen every day going over the yard and actually clean up everything multiple times a day. So they really clean up the yard. And I also love that eggs. So from time to time, I'm getting egg from that. That's not the Bible for this speak. What else? Regarding to the ban, here's my some thought. Miss Paul, you might have some relation to this. So basically, imagine the kindergarten And when they in the classroom, they used to have the bathroom inside in the classroom. And so whenever they go, well, need to go, they just go. So when they go out of the kindergarten and they go to the classroom with our bathroom. So what do? They just go, okay, and they go to the bathroom and just walk out and go. Then the teachers stop it. Oh, no, you are not allowed to. If you want to go to bathroom, you have to request, ask for permission. And so they, so the kid, okay, raise the hand, yeah. May I go to the bathroom? The teacher said, yeah, but I can let you go because there's no home monitor. So basically, this is why I see right now. Oh, you're banning from using the bathroom because there's nobody looking after you. So basically, this is what I seen from this hearing. So basically, it's like you try to ban it because nobody else should look after the kid. I hope, Mayor, and I know you are the champion of shared service. So please work with other township and get this thing done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Howard. My name is John from 198 Washington Street. I guess a different perspective because I'm not related to Chris and I don't live next to him. So, and I don't know if it's a bad thing because apparently he's got that section on lockdown there. He's a great neighbor. I've owned chickens before. My family that owns chickens. I've been an outdoorsman my whole life. And I can honestly say that there has been no downside to owning chickens, only up. I owned them, and I'll tell you, the people around me didn't even know I owned them. They weren't loud, they didn't smell. Okay, as far as rodents go, I mean, as long as you clean everything up well, I've never had a rodent from them. You get rodents from gardens. We all know we're not going to ban a garden here in Berkeley Heights, at least I hope not, okay? Because we know that the benefits of a garden far outweigh the negatives, all right? And I think it's the same with this too, okay? As long as you clean out your coop and you uphold it, there's zero downside to owning chickens, except for, you know, my kids loved it, my nephews loved it, they learned responsibility. The food was better for sure, okay? I don't see any negative. That's really all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you for your perspective.
I've never seen the color of the yolk on a farm fresh egg. It's very different and it does taste very different. Yeah.
Mr. Tomich has never given me any eggs. My neighbor. I expect a full delivery tomorrow.
Hi, my name is Layla Nicodemo. I live on 35 Orion Road, and I'm one of their friends. And whenever I go to their house, I love petting them and feeding them, and I love carrying them, and they're really soft. So please do not ban them.
Thank you.
Everyone, my name is James Coker. I'm a resident at 285 Plainfield Ave, across from the Church of the Little Flower. I've been a town resident since 2021, and while I don't personally own chickens, I've been considering it after learning of all the benefits and relatively low effort from my friend Chris here. I strongly oppose the initiative to ban the chickens in the town, as banning would be a step back for our community's independence, environment, and sustainability. So let me explain why by focusing on probably one of the what I thought was an underappreciated benefit, but everyone here seems to know more about chickens than I did. So chickens eat a tremendous number of bugs and pests, specifically ticks and mosquitoes. So ticks carry not only Lyme disease, but anaplasmosis and babesiosis, to name a few. Mosquitoes spread illness like West Nile, Zika, and Eastern equine encephalitis. These diseases affect thousands nationwide each year, and the footprint of the diseases seemingly is increasing each year. The chemical sprays and pesticides, they seem like quick fixes, They harm beneficial insects, pollute our water, and expose our families to toxins. Chickens offer a natural, eco-friendly alternative to this. They instinctively forage for insects as part of their diet, and when allowed to free range, even in small backyard coops, they devour ticks, mosquitoes, and other pests like Japanese beetles and grubs. Studies of real-world experiences show that a small flock can significantly reduce tick populations in an area, and in tick-infested regions, like we exist in, chickens have been credited with dropping tick numbers noticeably, helping prevent disease without a drop of chemicals. They even eat mosquitoes resting on the ground or on low plants, turning these little bloodsuckers into protein-rich snacks. By keeping chickens legal, we empower our residents to manage pests sustainably, reducing reliance on harmful sprays that end up in our streams and soils. This means fewer mosquito bites at summer barbecues and safer play areas for our kids without the fear of ticks. Of course, chickens offer more than pest control. They give us fresh, nutritious eggs. They teach responsibility to families, especially the children. They contribute to food security in uncertain times and even fertilize gardens with their manure, closing the loop on waste. And as everyone here has mentioned, these chickens don't make a lot of noise, right? I think no one here is kind of asking for roosters and something crazy like that. They're quieter than most of the dogs, including my own. Most of these chicken owners are responsible stewards. A ban would punish these law-abiding citizens. I think the craziest part is people aren't asking to be allowed to have chickens. It is allowed today. Bill, I think you mentioned that you would like to have chickens. You can do it today, legally. So it's a hard thing to say we want to ban something that exists today or that there will be some tremendous amount of problems in the future when I could go get a permit today and have chickens today, and we don't have this massive problem, right? You have a few really responsible citizens in the town that have chickens and care for them and feed their families. And so it's a very unique position to be fighting to keep the right that we currently have. So in closing, the vision statement of the town's master plan says that Berkeley Heights will become more sustainable and resilient as a community, with the protection of existing natural areas and open spaces as a top priority. The township will incorporate sustainability principles in all stages of development and growth. I urge the council to support chickens if we truly believe this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, everyone, Javier Morales, 125 Lawrence Drive. How are you? Good evening. I'm in support of the Johnsons. I'm here to support them and ask you guys not to ban anything. They are a great family and they're just amazing people to this town and probably a lot more in this town. And I just wish we had more people that are watching come out and support them. And thank you so much.
Just to clarify, the ordinance is contradictory, which is why we're having the discussion tonight. There's a portion of it that says you can, there's a portion of it that says you can't, which has been difficult for the zoning officer to make determination. So we're clarifying and having a conversation. What I'm hearing, I think, is that the majority of the council supports it, but we have to put some guardrails in effect, which I think, you know, everyone here has, you know, iterated that as well, that that's a responsible thing to do. I would like to see Scott's ordinance in TNEC and see if we can adopt some of those measures that seem to be working well. Any other concerns? Did anybody else, I'm sorry, were the neighbors done speaking? I just thought we had come to an end. Okay, perfect. We'll take a look at Scott's ordinance. We'll take a look at a couple of the other surrounding towns like Fanwood and Scotch Plains. And we'll work up something, but I think generally speaking that we are in favor of it. We just need to put the proper guardrails in place. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a moment to leave because I know there's school tomorrow and the next thing on the agenda is fire fees and I don't think the 7- and 8-year-olds maybe want to stay for that. They may
Well
not.
done to the students in our town
Excellent
coming
job.
up and being part of this event.
The Jets, the chicken's not too.
Chicken wasn't happy when you were watching the Jets?
No.
Why?
It's kind of nervous watching football.
Probably your nervous energy, that's like fencing, right?
It's incredible. watching. Sit down on the sofa next. They're for pigs, but not the chickens.
Have a good night, take care.
Thank you.
Is the chief doing this? Okay, over there.
He's here.
Chief, Chief Hopkins, can I call you forward to discuss the fire fee, fire fees?
Love these.
Thank you. Bill, you're gonna spearhead, making sure we have all the information that we need and, yeah, and working with Scott?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I just got TNEC.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
Good evening, Chief.
Good evening.
I think you're giving us a presentation on the increase in fire fees?
Yes, so I've been asked by different elected officials to look at creating a cost recovery ordinance
Right.
For our department and for the township. One of the most prevalent calls we're having right now are struck gas lines in town by construction companies. These typically are longer duration events that we have to stand by, wait for the gas company to come and stop and then fix the gas leak. This puts a lot of wear and tear on our equipment and our personnel. These are contractors that are breaking the gas lines. This is just one of the possibilities we can do with this. But I think it's only fair that the township can recover some of the costs of these events. This would also cover hazardous material spills which typically happen on Interstate 78, motor vehicle crashes that involve extrications and those things. In addition to that, with technology advancing, with batteries, we've had to acquire some special equipment to be able to handle those fires. So if we had to use that equipment instead of using taxpayer funds to replace it, we could recover those items through this ordinance.
This would include, same as you had on Mountain Avenue, I think 2 years ago, the gasoline spill, was that 2 years ago? So this would include something like that?
Yeah, correct, yes.
Great idea.
Yeah.
I have a quick question though. Why are the contractors hitting the gas lines?
Well, they're digging, so there's a lot of construction going on in town.
Right, but aren't they marked?
Yes, they are marked, but I actually learned something new recently. So on Mountain Avenue, when they were putting in the new water main, we were up there 2 days in a row for struck gas lines. So it turned out that there's these things called stubs, and these were gas lines that went to homes that no longer exist. Gas company doesn't have them on record. They're not marked out. They get struck.
Scary.
The other thing, the other problem too is sometimes the utility companies, we have to go, if we have a primary power line down on the ground, which causes fires, we have to stand by until the power company comes out and can turn that off.
I had to call the chief the other day for a gas on
That's a chronic.
Forest Avenue, yeah.
Part of this ordinance would have a part in there where we can build the utility companies cost recovery for this also.
So it says that the fire department will be responsible for billing and collecting the costs. Is there staff available to do this?
No, we would probably there's different companies we can use for that to do this. In the past, on the rare times we have billed, for example, I don't know if you remember the gasoline tanker fire in Diamond Hill Road. We did bill for that. Currently, there is an ordinance in place. It's a very vague, loose ordinance that allows for cost recovery. So for that particular incident, we had to stay there for 5 hours while they unloaded the gasoline tanker from one to the other. We couldn't leave. If something had happened, there was 25 homes downhill of there, and there was 7,000 gallons of gasoline in that truck. So that was one of the rare times. I actually just did it myself. But if we began to do this on a more regular basis, there are companies that we could have handle this for us.
So how do you foresee this working though within the fire department? Because the fire department will get, called out to something, and then you would need to record it. Somebody with the fire department would have to be responsible for.
So we already do this. So for every single call we go on, there's a fire report. And we gather that information already. Who was involved, what companies. So we always record that information so it's on record. So it would be nothing new that at least gathering the information would be nothing new that we would have to do.
And these would be charged to residents and non-residents alike?
Well, so billing residents, which are taxpayers, I think that would have to be handled a little bit differently. The fire department is funded by taxpayer funds. So what we could do if there was a significant hazardous material incident at a resident's home, a significant one, I'm not talking about like a gas leak or anything like that. You can do what's called soft billing where we would only recover what the insurance would pay and that's it. We wouldn't go after anything further.
Right, so if there was, let's just say that there was some hazardous thing at my house. I assume that my homeowners would cover the cost of remediating that, which would also potentially include any fees charged by the fire department for.
Correct. Typically, any of these things that fire departments bill for, this is a regular thing that goes on now. In a lot of towns, they're doing it. Scotch Plains is doing it quite heavily. The only thing I can think of that would happen in a residential home are the oil tanks. They break and then you have hundreds of gallons of oil inside their basement, which is a significant event.
Okay, thank you.
Jim, Chief, who are you working with to write this? Are you working with the township attorney or are we getting similar type ordinances from other towns and we're just mirroring that? How are we?
So I looked around, the best ordinance I could find that would cover us was the city of Passaic.
Okay.
Our department is quite a bit more trained than most regular fire departments are in hazardous materials. So that's why I found an ordinance that would more fit our people with the level of training that we have. We have 20 hazardous material technicians, and we have several members that are trained in specialist areas for certain events.
I guess what I'm asking is, just being the government nerd that I am, how are we gonna get this ordinance written? I mean, are you going to write it and
I
Scott?
sent Liza and the attorney, a draft attorney, or I'm sorry, a draft ordinance to look over and consider.
Okay. I think this is great, and there may be a couple other fee type of ordinances that we can look at in the future as well, right? This is just sort of a first step, low-hanging fruit, if you will.
Correct. I think this would be a step in the right direction. One of the other things I would like to establish down the road is a fire watch ordinance. And just in summary, what that would mean. Sometimes folks want to have cold sparks at the hotel for like a wedding or another event, which requires a fire watch. And I am working on this with the fire official, where there would be, the firefighters that have to stand by would be paid an hourly rate. And this would be paid for either by the hotel or the people having the event.
And I'll just jump in just to say that I've reviewed the draft, the ordinances from the other, I think it's from Passaic, that the chief sent around. It looked good to me. I put it together in the Berkeley Heights format, and so it's, I think at this point ready to be reviewed by the council.
All right.
What do you call that, a cold spark event?
It's like indoor fireworks.
Oh,
It's basically,
gotcha.
white sparks. They shoot out a lot. It's a very popular thing.
Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns? Tremendous job. How many days ago was that? Was that 9/11 that happened? The fire, Angela Way?
The most recent one?
One a few
On
days ago.
Cardinal Court, Cardinal Court.
Yeah, I mean, that was, you could smell it throughout the town. It was extensive. I know many people sent me pictures, just tremendous job by the fire department. So we want to thank you for that and your service, and you're all volunteers, and we appreciate, that you go into danger quite often.
Thank you.
People probably don't know that enough.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
All right, this looks good, Jim. I think we'll work with Scott. We'll get a draft to the council and we'll try to get this on the agenda as quickly as possible.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Chief.
Good night.
Thank you.
In absence of Andy Moran, I'll move to open the citizens hearing.
Hold on, give me 1 second. Because I want to because I don't want to wait till the end with my other mayor's report. I just want to give an update on the flooding. Because I don't want to wait till the end. So first of all, I'm proud to announce the launch of the mayor's task force on flooding. This idea came directly from our residents who have been most impacted by the flooding in recent years, and I want to extend my heartfelt thank you to them. Their input and advocacy sparked this initiative, which allows members of government and residents to work hand in hand on one of the greatest challenges facing our township. As we begin this important work, I am reminded of the words of Margaret Mead. Never doubt what a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that has. So since the recent storm, our township team, DPW, OEM, engineering, finance, clerk, and administration have been working nonstop, assessing and documenting damage, getting quotes, hiring contractors, and identifying funds to minimize the use of the $3 million storm bond. Major repair projects are well underway. Quick fixes have been made, while larger efforts such as debris removal under Russo Place and reconstruction of Oak Way are now several weeks into the process. Unfortunately, New Jersey did not meet the $17.6 million damage threshold for FEMA eligibility. Knowing that this was a possibility, we have been conservative in our spending, and only about $7,000 has been used from our storm bond to date. Most of the recovery work has been funded with unused ordinance money and the Emergency Appropriation Council previously approved, so not from that $3 million bond. The DPW continues to inspect easements and storm basins, while we also survey clogged waterways feeding into the Passaic to identify long-term solutions. Contractor quotes are being sought for cleanup. Just yesterday, I walked the Passaic River with the resident in the back of the room there to see firsthand several of the blockages that continue to worsen flooding impacts in our community. In addition, our engineering department is studying a broad scope of work that includes reviewing old maps and incorporating aerial imaging, supplementing this with on-ground assessments, evaluating sub-drainage systems, and conducting a hydraulic and capacity study of the township's piping system to better understand and improve the flood mitigation. On September 26th, I will host a meeting here at Town Hall with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the DEP, Union County, and neighboring towns to tour the Passaic River, highlighting critical blockages and to press for state and federal funding. The task force tonight that's being created tonight will build on these efforts, ensuring that residents remain engaged partners as we strengthen our response to storm events and develop a long-term strategy for resilience and for protection. So with that, you can open the citizens hearing.
Okay, I move to open the citizens hearing.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Kudo?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mrs. Illes?
Yes.
Mr. Machado?
Yes.
Mrs. Polk?
Yes.
Okay, comments are welcome during the public comment period during this meeting on any matter over which the township has jurisdiction. To make your comment, the speaker must come forward to the microphone, state his or her name and address for the record. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. The council president will keep time. He'll let you know when the 3 minutes are up. Please promptly yield to the floor when time is called and return to your seat. Your cooperation in adherence to these rules of order will ensure an orderly and respectful meeting.
Pardon me, I left my big clock at home, so. Be brief.
Good evening, Len Berkowitz, 140 Kent Drive, Berkeley Heights, resident for 59 years. I've seen a lot of change. The wooded area on Kent Drive on the other side is now replaced by several McMansions. The most recent one sold a right of way to Ozzy the Builder, an easement, I guess, which has been a nightmare on runoff, never properly secured. I think a couple times during the last 5 years, the town representatives have been out there. I know the mayor's been there and made them do some remediation, but it's just not taking. Vegetation grows on the easement, but every fall he mows it down for whatever reason. Well, originally, I think he had a concept, he was going to have a road going through to the private road, and he took the pavers off, which the town made him put them back, close it off. So now it's the worst it's ever been, because that was a very big storm and tremendous runoff. I don't know who can get his attention. He's got to do more than just patch it the way he's done in the past. I think he has to plant sizable vegetation or something to
Did you see that?
hold that back. Yeah. Not a great photo, but it's the best
Thank
I
you.
can do.
And zoning probably. Enforcement issue too, yeah.
Yeah, so I reached out to the town, but I know people have been very busy, so I thought I'd come in person and raise the issue, because I don't know who's responsible for leaning on Ozzy.
So our engineer, Tom Solfaro, has held his feet to the fire, but we could also get zoning involved if there's a overgrown area, but
Yeah,
we'll reach out to Tom and have him contact
okay.
the developer and see if we can
Appreciate
address that
that. He
again.
does a lot of building in town, I know.
He's building in Westminster, yeah?
Listen to you.
I hope
I don't
so.
know if he knows what to do.
Thank you, Len.
For coming, yeah.
Angus Chen, 6 Deepdale Drive. I'm reading a statement on behalf of the Environmental Commission. Speaking for Richard Leister, the chair, who couldn't be here tonight. So the Berkeley Heights Environmental Commission is happy to learn the township has decided not to install an artificial turf sports field at Lower Columbia Park. After reviewing considerable scientific and professional literature on the health and environmental consequences of building an artificial turf playing field, the Environmental Commission concluded that any artificial turf playing fields present serious environmental concerns. Instead, the Commission recommends installing a natural turf field. Summary, the Commission's primary concerns are for artificial turf. 1, disrupts the natural environment by removing a part of it. 2, generates thousands of pounds of plastic waste that may not be recyclable. 3, introduces into the natural environment synthetic materials and chemicals that potentially can impact human health, animal health, and the health of the surrounding environment. And 4, creates a heat island effect. While newly emerging materials and some of the alternative infills may lessen the environmental burden and human health concerns, additional data is needed to fully understand artificial turf's overall and long-lasting environmental and health impacts. Accordingly, the Commission recommends that Berkeley Heights invest in safe, non-toxic, natural turf surfaces on sports fields and playgrounds. Also going to have a separate topic, as I spoke. No, same clock. I don't need that much time. I also want to speak, as we did earlier, for the Hispanic Heritage Month flat racing. We will all be celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, which started yesterday. And there is a celebration at the Berkeley Heights YMCA on October 11th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. There will be speakers, food from Central Taqueria in Morristown, and lots of activities. We'll be publicizing shortly on social and other platforms, and hope everyone can attend. Berkeley Heights YMCA registration is required for fire code capacity. October 11th, 1 to 3 p.m.
1 to 3.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Angus.
Does everybody know what a heat island is?
Yeah.
I learned that last summer, so I'm just curious.
I got it at 1 a.m. Oops. Saturday, the 11th? Usually they're Sundays, right? It's a Saturday?
Yes.
Okay.
Saturday.
Good evening, Natasha Jolly, 60 Orion Road, Berkeley Heights. As you're aware, I am a BOE member, parent taxpayer, and what I'm about to say are my own thoughts and opinions. I'll probably go beyond the 3 minutes, but I hope you could just give me the courtesy to finish. So just piggybacking off the Environmental Commission, recommendations, it's interesting that that came after everything that happened with the lease. So I'd like to talk about Resolution 2025-270, as well as the recent announcement from the Rec Commission about the turf field. On September 2nd, the BOE and the district received an email from Ms. Varneren that stated, after initial discovery, it is highly probable that the area where the turf field would be installed would be classified as wetlands by the New Jersey DEP. After reviewing all options available, the most cost-effective solution is to replace the existing natural grass with natural grass sod with improved drainage, irrigation, and lights. So leading up to this announcement, let's recap what happened. 5 years of pitching the turf field at Lower Columbia, non-binding resolution for pushing for the lease for the purpose of a turf field, manufactured insurance issue as the excuse to lock out GL students from the tennis courts, threatening emails from the township attorney, forced negotiation in public during a BOE meeting, orchestration of community and PLL writing campaign to the BOE about the immediate need for a turf field, and then passing the lease quickly via resolution rather than ordinance. Yet it's only now that it's been determined that you can't put a turf field there. So some of my concerns about the resolution and Ms. Varner's statement. I've asked Ms. Varner what constitutes initial discovery. I received no response, so I opened the material. My guess is I'm not sure if there's anything there because, the resolution itself speaks to the work that needs to be done in order to determine what can go onto that field. On March 13th, Mr. Solomon, the township attorney, wrote the board attorney, every day the residents are being harmed by the board's failure to act. And the township will no longer shoulder the blame for that, and will not shoulder the blame for that any longer. So what exactly has the township done for the last 6 months? Or is it that a signed lease miraculously stopped the harm to the residents? I also find it very telling that after a highly public intimidation campaign to sign this lease, the no turf announcement came so quietly. Ironic, Mrs. Pogue and Ms. Viana bristled that this information was shared with NJ 21st, an online publication, given how much township shared with Tap Into, another online publication, during the pressure campaign. It's problematic that Ms. Varner, who also has authority to direct public tax dollars, conducts business without a township email address. How would the public be able to open a township-related business from her personal email account? Finally, the most important concern for me is the improper way the township enacted the lease. On an email chain on this topic, Mr. Solomon made the following statement. While the agreement was initially stylized as a lease, it is, for all intents and purposes, a shared services agreement, which may be authorized for resolution. Really, because I thought the township needed a lease to apply for grants. The agreement that was signed was clearly labeled a lease. The township's resolution called it a lease. NJSA 40A 12-5 clearly states that any municipality by ordinance may provide for the acquisition of any real property, capital improvement, or personal property by purchase, gift, device, lease, exchange, condemnation, or installment purchase agreement. Ordinances require public notice, 2 readings, a hearing, and give residents the right to petition for a referendum. The lease was passed by the township as a resolution, bypassing the requirements of the ordinance, period. Is it like, I don't know, compliance with state statutes not, required anymore? So just to wrap it up, the timing of this resolution also is a bit of a red flag for me. There's nothing for months, yet once Ms. Varner's update is made public, there's a rush to pay the consultants. So I would ask that the council table resolution 2025-270 until it is clear what's been done, because it's not clear to the BOE or the community to determine that, to determine what's behind the recent statement, and until the lease is passed as an ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Sai Bhargavi Akiri. Like Natasha, I'm here as a parent, taxpayer, and I'm on the board, but what I'm speaking here is my personal opinion on what has conspired in the last 3 to 4 years. As a body, you often talk about partnership and collaboration. One of your members is known for encouraging residents to be upstanders, not bystanders. Yet when reasonable questions and facts are pointed out about your decision, it is often the case that the response involves not answering any questions and engaging in personal attacks. The legality of this lease agreement is a very reasonable question in play. Not just the legality, but how it was marketed to the community, the manner in which the township sought to pressure the Board of Education, and the refusal of the Recreation Commission to answer any questions or provide requested documents. This land belongs to the township. It is public property, and you went to extreme lengths to pass it as a referendum question. And every single step of the time, you said there will be a turf installed, and the township needs the lease agreement and needs to own this land to apply for these grants. So what has changed in the last 4 years? And what is even more shocking and appalling is every single one of you here has taken an oath to abide by the state law. And the state law clearly states, like Natasha said, you need to pass it as an ordinance. So are you not being compliant? And are you aware of it? And I know the attorney is attending from, I think, Disneyland or I don't know where, on our tax dollars. So I hope we're getting good legal counsel here. Your response is, for any questions, is to attack representatives and organizations that are asking hard questions on an item where hard questions are warranted. You had no issues sending out press releases and using a local media outlet to advance what we know was an inaccurate narrative. You had no issues rallying groups to attend meetings to apply pressure to our district during what should have been a meeting focused on our budget, meant to meet the needs of our students. And no, this field is not a top priority for our students as reflected in our referendum survey. You can point to your ballot question, but at this point, we can all acknowledge how highly compromised this whole affair has been. How is it that this council was not aware of the wetlands issue after the Recreation Commission confidently stated that due diligence was applied? Is this just an innocent mistake? Is creating a false narrative in locking students out of a tennis court an innocent mistake? Is framing the whole matter as urgent and then doing nothing for months an innocent mistake? How many innocent mistakes before it becomes a pattern? Now that your actions and inconsistencies of your narrative are being highlighted, instead of answering questions and acknowledging these innocent mistakes, we're reading emails about how everyone here is working hard while others are casting dark clouds. If this was truly a mistake, you would acknowledge this, hold off on this vote, have the Recreation Commissioner attend the Board of Ed meeting, or minimally at least answer our questions and provide the requested documents to the Board of Ed. And I would like an answer.
But what's the question? There's a whole lot of
Well, so
accusations.
I can,
that are
I
not
can,
accurate in there.
Mayor,
What is not accurate?
Yeah, I'm going to let Mr. Salmon.
No, basically, if you're going to say, Angie, that sitting here as our elected mayor, that some of the statements are not accurate, I would like you to tell me.
I am not going to go back and.
No,
forth.
you made a
This
statement.
has
No.
happened repeatedly. I am not going back and
No,
forth.
you don't have to go
The
back and forth. Let me, yeah,
The
that's fine.
attorney will answer, and that's the end of it.
That's
If
fine.
anyone else
If
wants to say something, they're more than welcome.
No,
to
you
say.
said there was inaccurate statements. Didn't
That-
the town council, I'm still speaking.
Yes.
I'm still at my
Your
3
time
minutes.
is up.
Yes,
Your time
so,
is up.
yeah, so all I'm asking is, what is inaccurate? Like, I need to ask is, didn't the township lock GL students from playing tennis? That's not, that is not
I am
inaccurate.
not going to debate.
Yeah, that's fine.
This is
That-
not a
yeah.
time for debate. This is a time for you to share your thoughts, and we are listening, and that's it.
Well,
Mr.
your
Chairman.
actions speak louder than your words. That's about it. Yeah, I would like to hear
Thank-
from that.
Thank you, Mayor. So the one thing I want to address is this issue about whether ordinance or statute. The statute that was cited related to the ordinance does not apply to this situation. That ordinance is for if the township were to be leasing properties with essentially private entities. It doesn't govern or relate to the lease agreements between a municipality and a school board or another municipality. Those are governed by the Shared Services Act. That allows for lease agreements for things like this to be done by resolution. They do not require an ordinance. So we call it a lease agreement because it is a lease agreement, but that doesn't affect the fact that it's still governed overall by the Shared Services Act, which only requires a resolution and not an ordinance. That would be if we were leasing a property to a private, let's say, developer or private, charity, something like that, by ordinance. But between other governmental agencies under the Shared Services Act, we only need to do it by resolution, regardless of whatever we call it.
Can he send it in an email? Like, can he?
Yes, we have sent.
I think I had already
No,
provided that answer
I
in an
don't
email,
know
but I
what the
can provide another
communication
one.
breakdown is between us giving you information and the board members not receiving it, but we have sent not just this, but other information repeatedly.
I have a basic question. So the lease agreement said that the township has to pay the board the $1 fee. Was the fee paid?
It's being paid on the next bill list for the meeting.
The dollar?
Yeah, so for 6 months,
Yes.
it was an emergency. So you have not,
Yes, we'll
so
pay you $1.
technically, it's not, we will pay you $1. It's for
Liza, please be respectful. It's not about you or me here. I'm here as a tax-paying resident. If the council and every single one of you took an oath to abide by the law and we signed a lease agreement, it took the town 6 months to pay $1 while every bills list that you approve is millions of dollars. That itself says how serious about it. Yeah.
Do you want me to take over maintenance of it and do the improvements? Is that what you want? We're not doing turf. You guys didn't want turf to begin with. We're still using our grant money to do the field improvements without doing turf. So do you want it back so you guys can pay for the improvements and the maintenance that we currently pay for? Is that the end goal? If that's not the end goal, I'm not sure what.
No, but if you're
Our
not
attorney
installing the
answered
turf,
your
no.
They answered your question on the
Nobody
ordinance
answered the
release.
question why.
We did
why
several
would-
times in email,
About
but
the
I
turf.
don't want to.
I really think,
Just an answer.
Sounded like a Board of Ed meeting.
yeah, I really think that we're getting into a gray area of Board of Ed members, a few Board of Ed members and the members of this governing body having discussions. So I think we need to.
So it was perfectly fine for you to come and hijack the budget meeting when the entire council could come in and say, we are going to install a turf field. That was fine by you, and that's appropriate. But a couple board
I checked
members,
the budget meeting.
Yeah,
We
right.
Came when we sat there.
Yeah,
Okay,
you-
the
you
problem-
asked
the
for a
problem we
public
had- the problem I
negotiation,
hear
yeah.
Is that when you come up to the mic, you say, I'm a Board of Ed member, but these my comments are me as a resident. You can't have it both ways. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Okay.
Because you're asking questions that the Board of Ed members would ask and that residents would
So
ask.
why can't a resident ask these? And the Board of Ed members don't have any authority when we don't have a quorum, FYI. I think you should know that.
Because all your emails always say on the bottom, these are only my.
Because you cannot speak for the rest of them, and when you don't have a quorum, you're not Board of Ed members.
Just give the field back.
Board of Ed meeting and you use that.
But we'll give it back. We'll give you the field back. I mean, this is for the residents of Berkeley Heights. This is for the children of Berkeley Heights.
Yes.
You're arguing about $1 and who it's the lease agreement or.
No, it took 6 months to pay $1. Okay.
Because that's me getting angry.
So if you're giving it back, is
It's
that
for the
is that the
children.
consensus?
Take the field back. Take the field back.
Okay.
I'm so sick of listening to all this.
Oh, we are sick of all the shenanigans for the
So
5 years.
I'm gonna say,
That
one
was
last,
very inappropriate.
I'm gonna say one last thing. This is all the field, all anybody wants from the field is to try to do something good for the township. That's it.
And our problem is this also, if the DEP comes in, or the EPA comes in, or the feds come in, or the state comes in, or the county comes in and tells us you can't do something, and they lay it in our lap, okay? Then what are we supposed to do with that? Say, nah, we're gonna do it anyway.
You didn't know that about for the last 5 years?
How are we supposed to know? We didn't own the field. We don't do any kind of surveys on the field. There's nothing done prior to us getting it. Everything in that thing was done after. The surveys are done after.
Dr. Foraker, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. I hope my
You're gonna get
question,
your dollar.
I hope my question won't lead to so much discussion. I'm looking at resolution 270. Professional services to harbor consultants for professional engineering, surveying and planning services for Columbia Middle School Lower Fields project. Is there any more detail about, so is there any more detail available on what exactly the work is here? What,
The packet?
I only have what I picked up here.
Did not include it, but I can share that up.
Yeah, we should have had.
I have the proposal, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so
We'll get you a copy
there's
of it. That's our mistake.
I have a proposal from them, which this
Okay.
is based on, absolutely share.
So there's a
Yeah.
detailed
That's what
description.
their cost is and what you're
Okay.
getting for it, 100%.
Is it online?
It is not, but I will.
Make sure that it's online too.
So at this
What-
point, I
what's
just want to
the-
clarify it. So at this point, it would be to do the surveys needed to move forward with field improvements for natural turf. There might be another word for it, but natural turf is grass. It's not artificial turf. Lighting improvements and,
So Environmental Commission actually had some effect here.
say it again?
The Environmental Commission actually had some effect. It sounds like they wanted natural turf and that's what you're gonna get, right?
Well, it sounds like the DEP came and said turf is going to be much more expensive, take a lot longer. If you have to go through permitting process because it is close to wetlands, so it seems like the most expedited way to give the community the better fields is to pursue, which the word turf was taken out of the original lease agreement with the Board of Ed anyway, so this is still applicable.
Mr. Ford, just so you know, that the word, it's in there, the
The
resolution.
resolution's in there, but the
The
proposal.
proposal's not in.
All I have is 2 pages, just lists resolutions. It doesn't say
So you.
what.
Now, the whole, I didn't realize what you were saying. I apologize. I have them here. It's 150 pages, so what I did.
150.
The whole packet.
Sorry.
So I didn't
Late
make
at night, I don't read that
Okay.
kind of stuff.
copies of the basic agenda.
Yeah.
Packet is online. It's been online since Thursday. And I had a few copies here for people. I just asked people to share, look at it, look through it, but put it back because it's 150 pages and I didn't want to waste 20 copies of 150 pages. So that's really what I've been doing. Sorry. So I didn't realize what you were saying. The resolution is here. The resolution describes, it's based on a proposal from Harbor with all the nitty gritty of what's involved in, but it's summed up in the resolution. Sorry, I didn't realize what you were asking.
Okay, thank you very much. And I yield back the balance of my time.
Sorry, Dr. Ford, our mayor, I didn't realize.
You want, Tom, do you want Margaret's copy?
You're welcome to have my copy. You can, yeah, keep this one now, but.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna change the topics,
Oh, good.
okay? My name's Joe Iadanza, 923 Mountain Avenue, Berkeley Heights. A couple of questions first. Is the potential to sell the wastewater treatment still on the table? Is that gone away?
I don't know the answer to that. We have a third-party company looking at the billing. We have to separate
Okay.
it out and try to figure out what makes sense
All
financially.
right, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's the answer.
Okay, I left my pen from the last time here. There's at least 5 items here that have pertained to the wastewater treatment. It'd be, resolutions, so on and so forth. I'm not gonna go through each one of them, but it mentions it, but I'm gonna just read a little prepared statement I have here.
Okay.
So this is about information regarding the wastewater treatment, sanitary piping, pumps, manholes, outfalls, equipment, staffing, and associated components. When I first became aware of the concept to sell the Berkeley Heights wastewater treatment facility, I was surprised that the current administration took this undertaking. Why would an organization want to sell such a viable asset? After some research, I found that the system facility is considered to be severely understaffed, significantly underfunded, relies on outside vendors and engineering firms for New Jersey DEP required reports and essential information. There has been a revolving door of directors and administrators. It has all the signs of being mismanaged. Like any wastewater facility and system that is utilized by 15 to 20,000 individuals and businesses daily, it must be maintained at the highest standard to ensure it meets all its regulatory requirements. Unfortunately, the system is in need of significant maintenance, repair, replacement, increased staffing, and total overhaul. Just to give you an idea of how many people have been involved with this, there was a person named Joanne Mondesini. She's now the executive director of Rockaway Valley Sewage Authority. Tom McAndrew, he's now the executive director of Washington Township Municipal Authorities. Jack Conway is a retired former administrator here and for Forum Park and the Recreation Director for Chatham. Amy Upchurch was here. She has also been a township administrator in Mendham and Essex Fells. Linda Kavanaugh, she became a judge for Essex County. Angie Devaney became the current mayor of Berkeley Heights. John Bercelli, current business administrator of Springfield Township. Vincent Denave recently retired as business administrator for Harding Township. Liza Viana, current administrator of Berkeley Heights. As you can see, most of these individuals left or were able to find employment elsewhere, usually in the wastewater treatment or some kind of government position where they were able to leverage their abilities to find work. Unfortunately, there has been little or no continuity in overseeing this township asset. It's evident that a large capital infusion is required to address the many issues of the entire system. There is no easy fix or magic bullet. It will take hard work, determination, and political intestinal fortitude to repair the system after decades of neglect. There have been ongoing dialogue for years to ascertain how to raise capital via bonds, grants, state funds, loan, or taxes. The facility system remains in poor shape due to the lack of funds and preventive maintenance. This is just me talking now. In my humble opinion, there's only two ways to address this. One, to continue to maintain the system as an asset. So it would take a massive infusion of capital, hiring a qualified assistant director and additional personnel with the appropriate training and licenses to operate a wastewater facility and system within the framework of federal and state guidelines. Institute a sanitary sewer replacement program to eliminate the stormwater runoff intrusion into the system and repair, replace identified components that are beyond their operating life. In the past, Richard Crane, the engineering consultant, whose name is also on this list in today's meeting, for Paula Sokolowski Sator and Alan Kennedy, who's the current wastewater director, generated a report in 2023, which spelled out what needs to be corrected or replaced by 2029. Or number two, sell the facility to a major wastewater operation such as American Water, where the cost can be spread out somewhat equitably through fees. In addition, have all new township construction projects that connect to the system pay their fair and equitable fee. All that being said, I never thought I would say this. Option two would be the best way to proceed. There's a need for professional continuity in management, where reliable funding for the operation of the facility is tantamount to having a viable system for the community health and well-being. Between the ongoing development in the township and the rest of New Jersey and the continual flooding issues due to weather concerns, time is running out before a major disaster incident will occur. That's my comment on the wastewater treatment center.
You said a lot. So we did invest $8 million in it a few years ago. We continue to do so. I'm going to ask Alan himself to come forward. I don't think DEP has been more effusive in their praise of the township as they have been in the last 6 months or so. We are in full compliance. We are continuing to do construction projects at the plant. But Alan, why don't you come forward and talk about that?
Well,
Brag on yourself a little bit.
but first of all, I want to give credit where credit's due. I have to give, don't get me straight here. Don't get me wrong. I think Liza and Angie, I think realized that this is an unbelievable bullet we got to take care of. And I appreciate that.
It is. I just want Alan to assure everybody that there are no issues there. We're in full compliance and.
No, come on, Val, you can tell me about it.
Alan and the staff there have worked very hard. We're a staff of what, 6?
Yes, you're understaffed, right.
6 people run an entire facility for this township and
Not John and.
that we take from other towns, yeah.
Joe Ionescu. How you doing?
Pleasure.
Good. One day I'd like to come visit you.
Alan, just explain maybe where we were over the last couple of years and where we are today and your meetings with the DEP. I think that's a very important conversation.
Do you need to sit here? Do you need to spread out?
Yeah, we sit there.
No? Oh, okay.
I'll be very brief.
No, take your time.
All right.
Alan is former military and a marathon runner. I feel like I should just say all these great things about you.
You were in the Navy, right?
Yes, sir. I was in the Navy.
Okay.
Okay. So again, my name is Alan Kennedy. I have been on the staff at the wastewater treatment plant for 9 years. And for the last 3, I have been the director. I am an S3 C1 NJDEP licensed wastewater treatment operator. So I'm qualified to run the plant, which is an S3 level plant. As far as the funding, the mayor laid it out quite well, what we've been doing for the past 3 or so years. So all of your comments are definitely appreciated and are spot on. We have an aging system. It's been underfunded in previous years, and it will take a lot of work and capital to fix it, and we've begun that. In 2023, in January, we began the wastewater treatment plant modernization program, which did 2 major things. One is to infuse the operations and the capital side of the wastewater treatment plant with an influx of funding. We've taken that funding and we have put it toward the most critical, upgrading the most critical features of the plant. And number two, we have revolutionized, if you will, or revitalized the operations of the plant using a science-based approach to operating it. So fast forward to 2025, we've made those changes. In the last set of DEP inspections, which were 5 inspections, we did receive those reports back, and none of those reports had notice of violations. We did have deficiencies, but no notice of violations, which is indicative of the fact that we are now in compliance with our new GIPD's permits. So we have made major steps forward. And if you will, I just want to share a couple more things with you. You made reference to a number of, you made reference to the fact that we need to make improvements, and we are making improvements. I'd like to share with you a couple of them. Tomorrow we are putting online for the first time our disc filtration upgrade system. It's a great system. We had sand filters at the plant, which are past their useful life. These disc filters will improve our ability to remove solids from the waste streams by upwards of 80 to 90%. So we are currently a very efficient treatment plant. We're going to get even more so. A second thing, exciting thing to share with you is the collection system. We have an aging collection system, as you pointed out, and we are infusing capital into that system to fix it. We are in the midst of hammering out a scope of work with National Water Main Cleaning Company, around $500,000 to repair manholes and fix pipelines that have aged to a point at which it's now time to fix those leaking issues. So there's a lot of very exciting things going on at the plant, and we are moving in the right direction. And tomorrow will be one of those milestones.
We're starting the boiler project and the parasitic, making the repairs in the parasitic.
Yes, one of the many upgrades to the plant. We are replacing our 40-year-old boilers, and we have constructed a parasitic acid delivery system, which will disinfect the wastewater. We had a little structural issue, or a pretty major structural issue with that we have to address, but it will be addressed. One other thing to share with you with the upgrades is we're also constructing a magnesium hydroxide and micro C, which is glycerin, delivery system, which will be put online probably within the next few weeks. Another exciting upgrade to the plant, which will allow us to more effectively treat our wastewater and continue to meet our new GIPD's permit.
I think there's probably been more done at the sewer plant in the past three or 4 years than there have in the past 25. So it's, and just to brag on Alan a little bit, he also did win an industry award recently for using science-backed approaches to find a lot of solutions to these problems.
Thank you.
Let me ask you this now.
Sorry.
What are we doing about the smell? I mean, are you using surfactant to try to knock down the smell, or are we gonna try to minimize smell altogether? Or do you still need the flare?
So the flare was a major issue in 2022. We have installed a brand new flare, I believe early 2023. It works fantastic.
Okay.
It is probably one of the most reliable parts of the plant now. As far as your question with the smell, that's a very long-winded answer.
I saw the report that the consultant gave you, 5 being the worst, and there were a couple of 5s.
So you saw that,
Yeah, I read that
report.
report.
I think that report stemmed from a odor study that we did.
Right.
And that odor study, it pointed, as you noted, I think it primarily pointed at our digester system, and we're
Right.
doing a lot with
Yeah,
that. We've
please.
replaced one of our older pressure relief valves. It's made a major impact on the smells.
Okay, so if
To
we,
flare up the smell, if the valve isn't on correctly, or if it's aging, and that was one of
Yes.
the bigger ones.
Sure.
Recently, barometric pressure always plays into it. So this time of year, we always are sort of fighting with it. So the odor system, we're ramping that up. But one of the scum boxes, right, was being
Sure.
replaced and that was recently is probably.
It's going to be replaced. Yeah, that's one of the pieces of the puzzle. So on one of our settling tanks, we have a collector arm. It basically skims the top of the surface off, so all the floating stuff, the grease, whatever, it goes into a box. And then it gets pumped to the digester where it's processed, where it doesn't smell. We're upgrading one of those boxes. We call them scum boxes.
I understand.
It'll allow us to automate that process and make it more reliable.
Okay, so what about, I don't mean to bring this up so much, but I don't want this guy ever to get any more stuff in his house. I mean, what are we doing about making sure that all the water that's supposed to, all the sewage is supposed to come down to you, only come down to you and wait, and runoff goes wherever, to the river?
The number one issue in our eyes and in the DEP's eyes is I&I, inflow and infiltration.
Right.
So I made reference to the aging collection system, our pipes and manholes. That's where we have to really focus on removing the water that gets into our system that overwhelms us.
Right.
You know, the stormwater is not supposed to get into the sanitary sewer pipes by design, it happens. But because our pipes are so old, our manholes are so old, we have a lot that affects us. So as I noted before, we are putting a lot of capital into repairing that system.
Great.
It started, before we move on with that, it started with two very critical programs. One was last year, was 2024 I&I study. We inspected 14,000 linear feet of pipeline. We found the issues. This year, we are inspecting 26,000, I believe, linear feet, at least that's the goal. And we're gonna compile that list of defects
Manholes, right?
in manholes, yes.
About 100?
100 manholes this year, yes.
Okay, so now let me, that segues into my next thing is, that meeting on September 26th with the flood people, is that open to the public or that's gonna be closed? Okay.
Yeah.
So now my other question in that respect is, there's an item here, 2025-273. What's the holdup on that? If I read this correctly, this is about the flood? Or with the Passaic?
Oh, yeah, no, that's a engineering project, right? Like, we're just we need to get an extension for our grant. When you get grants from the state, you
Right.
typically have to use them with a certain amount of time. We've been going through permitting issues with the DEP because this involves the Passaic. So that has held the project up a little bit. So it's just to extend.
Does it have anything to do with the Chatham has to sign off and Long Hill Township has to sign off? Because I know my friend Jim over here is always worried about when he goes away, his home might not be there because he lives right on the river bend.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. The committee on the flooding, I don't want to be on the committee, but you're gonna
I
have.
have more than enough applicants already.
Okay. I don't want to be.
I've been telling people and they've been applying already.
Okay. Because, you should think about applying if you really want to get involved. And my last thing is this, nothing to do with the flood, nothing to do with the sewer system, nothing to do with the field. What's it gonna take for me to get the American flag higher than the other two flagpoles? Can we do anything about modifying the flagpole?
So,
Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
Instead of flagpole's broken, they're gonna take care of it.
Okay, but
The latches are broken on
I
it, so we have
understand.
to get that.
The state, but.
Liza was kind enough to send me a whole big paper
Yes.
about the etiquette of the flag.
So Sergeant Bettis, who's a veteran
I-
himself, says that that they are flying the correct way.
I understand that. Don't take this the wrong way. Make one flagpole higher than the rest.
We should have
Because-
done that when we built the building. I agree with that.
I
That would have been taken.
I agree. You inherited this building.
Yes.
We had a discussion about that the
I
other
feel
day.
like we need to well,
I
put
personally,
it in the budget next year.
okay, the reason why, just so you know, my grandfather came to this country, fought for the United States and France. My father was in World War II.
Aw.
My father-in-law was at Guadalcanal. One of my uncles was at the Battle of the Bulge. My uncle Benny, who I couldn't stand, got captured by the Nazis at Anzio. And the best man at my wedding was at the evacuation of Saigon. So please, we talking about millions, we're talking about flags, we're talking about the turf. Please find the money to put the flag higher than the other two. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you putting up with me. And just so you know, on a good note, the Yankees and the Mets are both winning by a lot.
Oh, thank God for the Mets. Oh.
My name is Herb Waddell. Live at 98 Robbins Avenue, right in the heart of the flood country. And I came here to talk about that later. But you struck a nerve. You referred to the Columbia playing field as turf. Turf is grass. We have two synthetic chemical fields in New Berkeley Heights that I'm aware of. One at GL and one over on Snyder Avenue. They're both disasters. I was pleased to hear tonight that the environmental experts are not in favor of putting in more synthetic turf. But here's a source of information that you never hear of. I talked to a high school football player a few years back, and he said it was dangerous from a health point of view to play on the turf because on a sunny day, he measured the temperature at 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, that's enough to get you a multi-million-dollar settlement from McDonald's for spilling coffee on your lap. He said the players would put water in their shoes and their feet were still killing them. And they couldn't put their hands on the turf for more than a couple seconds. Now, no one ever talks about that. Nobody wants turf, your definition. They want grass. That's real turf. And to call it turf and really intend to spend a lot of money on making it dangerous. And now, why is Snyder inappropriate? Well, it's part of the big increase the storm runoff in Berkeley Heights program with all the development and artificial turf and parking spaces. Last month's storm was the worst I've seen in 63 years in Berkeley Heights. And what changed? Two things. The drainage system, which was designed to operate without a lot of trees in it, and shrub and garbage, and it is totally different. We can't handle the storm anymore. But okay, that's the other subject. I wanted to clear up this turf thing because it's really false and misleading advertising. It's like night lighting. You really have to play football all day long and all night long. Why can't we just use ordinary, healthy environments? Sorry.
No, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
You've been trying all night.
Real quick, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Javier, I know, Javier Morales, 125 Lawrence Drive. In regards of your task force and Army and the whole group, are they gonna take care of the soil erosion of our backyards, and are they looking into that? Is that something that you're bringing to them?
Well, yeah, I mean, they'll look into that, but if your title shows that you are responsible up to the middle of the creek, then you're still responsible for that. We're looking at areas where maybe the waterway comes in, or seeing what we can do with the federal and state government to try to dislodge some of the blockage in the Passaic River. We're still assessing and our attorney is still giving us advice. So
Right, 'cause-
we're not taking over all the waterways in Berkeley Heights. That's not.
Right, because it's an easement.
To do what we can to help mitigate it for the residents.
Right, but the storm water from the street comes in through my backyard
Are you on the creek or on a stream?
behind, yes.
So
But the water sewer line that comes from the street between roof and my house, there's a drainage. It's eroding all my backyard. I'm not gonna have any backyard. And I'm asking you, when you bring your, all these people, are you gonna come to our yards and assess this erosion?
no, when the Army Corps of Engineers comes, we're going to assess the Passaic River. So the flow in the river is improved. So then when the creeks and the tributaries that filter into the Passaic, it'll be better because the flow will increase. That's what we're trying to do. But working with the Army Corps of Engineers takes years. At the West Side Drainage Project, we've been working on for 6 years. So.
But
No, we're not going to individual property owners' yards and trying to deal with their drainage. If you're on, why don't you look at if you have a waterway adjacent to your property, which is what I'm hearing you saying?
between, and then the drain comes through my backyard and everyone else's.
Maybe I can clarify that. I have a 20-foot easement on the right-hand side of my house, as you're looking at from the front. It's called a storm runoff. It's on my property. I clean it out. I don't look to the town to clean it out because it's on my property. And even though it's an easement, okay, I take care of it. If it gets backed up, I clean it up.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I have no more property. It's eroding. So it's making a safety, my kids play in the backyard. So if that collapses, there's an issue there, right?
Right, well, then it goes to there's other issues with that. There's DEP, there's EPA, there's dredging. Where do you put dredge? How deep do you dredge it? Where does it go? We need to get permits and permissions to get onto your properties.
You're more than welcome to come to look at the end of the day.
That's not how that goes.
So when God forbid my kids fall because something, the soil's weak. And
I understand exactly what you're talking about, okay? I have the same issue on the side of my property and I take care of it, I clean it out. And it's only.
again, I'm not talking about clean, I'm talking about.
I understand.
Yeah,
I have no more.
well, I think there's misunderstanding about what you're talking about. You're not talking about the river.
Correct. I'm talking, listen, clean.
Yeah, can you send me pictures of the pipe?
It's,
Of the pipe, because before I thought it was the river. I thought, or excuse me, the tributary. The
right, I
tributary
send you
behind
pictures,
your
I
house.
send you videos and I send you
Of
everything.
the actual pipe?
It's right on between roof and my house. It's in.
Between.
I would love for you to take a
It's the
walk.
easement though, right?
Yes.
It's the easement, it's
Well,
not.
your drain
the stream.
on the street comes right in between.
Right, okay, yeah, yeah.
I
So
would
let
love for
me
you to. you
talk to the
came
engineer tomorrow.
Herb's house. I would love, any one of you to come.
I was with Elaine.
I'm sorry, I thought Herb, I apologize. But I invite anybody to come. I'm losing property. Listen, respectfully, I clean it. I'm talking about dirt. I'm losing dirt. I'm not gonna have no more property. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what I'm asking. It's the storm that comes from the street through our backyards and it flows into the Passaic River. I invite you, please, anyone, just come look at it and see the dirt. It's gone.
See,
You came,
That Tom is giving us a hydraulic conveyance.
I invite anybody,
down there,
please,
yes.
just come assess it, just look at it.
Javier, do you mind, are you on the committee or are you gonna be on the task force? Would you like to be on it?
No, I got a lot of more plate, I'm sorry. I'm a first responder.
I know, but
Yeah.
I love your knowledge and experience and
Yeah.
drive, so.
If I had time, trust me, I would.
I'll look at it again tomorrow, okay? I'm putting.
Appreciate it.
On
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
on my calendar.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
That's okay.
Hi, Keith Kagan, 88 Robbins. Who wants to guess what I'm gonna talk about?
Flooding.
You're on the clock.
That's fine. That guy got like 37 minutes. I'm not gonna take 37 minutes. So before I came, my wife said to me, "This is what you're gonna wear." I said, "Absolutely." So apologies.
But you're gonna what?
Where?
Oh, where?
It's okay.
I'm gonna talk about flooding again, and we're gonna go on and on and on about this. So apparently Union County was by the Robbins Bridge the other day, and they determined or told us that there's a 25 foot responsibility for the county on either side of the bridge. Now, why is this important? Because right at my property and Herb's property, because we live next door to each other, there is so much silt that Angie saw firsthand. Now, John, you keep talking about how you clean the creek and stuff like that. Are you cleaning dirt and rocks and all that other kind of shit? Or are you just cleaning branches and wood?
I'm making it so it runs.
Okay,
If it
so
runs,
guess what?
Chances are it's not gonna get tore up.
So I'm gonna say this, okay? I respect you a lot. I respect everybody on the dais, all right? There's a lot of love in my heart, or just not in my voice. Please stop saying how you keep the creek clean, because I went through the creek, my portion of the creek. Elaine watched me. Angie saw what I did. I cleaned out any sticks or branches, even big rocks out of the way. Angie, how far was that path that was by the bridge? This wide? This wide, John. And it's all rocks, all dirt. I know you're not in there doing that. And guess what that all does? It impedes the entire creek. It starts way further down than Elaine, and that one little section can't get any water through this far. And I'm not exaggerating, it is this wide. So I have a lot of questions for you. Actually, I don't. Number one, I was at this meeting about a month ago, and we all talked about contacting Union County. Has anybody contacted Union County?
I've been in contact with Elaine, who's contacted them. Yes, they will not take responsibility, Keith. They just won't.
Okay,
I
so,
did mention it at the staff meeting because Elaine mentioned it to me. I said, has anyone ever in our township engineer, I was gonna say attorney, he wasn't there. I asked him, have you ever heard legally that the county is responsible for 25 feet on either side of the bridge? And no one has ever heard of that. We are going to look into it.
perfect.
If that's the case, we will hold them accountable, but
That's
they
only,
are not, I'm telling you right now,
That's-
I've worked with them with Recreation County, they are not going to take responsibility for it.
okay, so here's my next question. Has anybody spoken to the freeholders of Union County about the problems? No.
Okay, I'll do it, but I'm telling you,
But
I
you
know
see-
how they
So
operate.
this is the problem, okay? We are looking to you for solutions.
But
Hold on, please.
No, because we're gonna have a debate about the county, and here's the problem, the state owns the waterways. We have to, when we have the Army Corps of Engineers and DEP here on the 26th, we have to get them to walk what I walked yesterday or the day before to show them that the silting and desnagging is what's gonna remedy the problem. Some of this, even if it was Union County's responsibility, they can't go in there with that equipment and just dredge.
So let me ask you this question. Doesn't everything flow uphill? So we come to you, you work for us, right? We're the bosses theoretically.
Mhm.
We go to you and we say, hey, we need you to find solutions for stuff.
And that,
Is it, no, I'm just,
That's
it's
what
a
we're
yes or no
saying.
question. It's a yes or no
but
question.
Keith, that's what we're doing. I just.
Okay, so we come to you for solutions.
Right?
A solution is to go to who we know it's the problem is,
We are
which is
No,
Union
no, no, no,
County.
no, no, no.
It's,
Army, no, it's not. It's the state owns the waterways. We have to go to DEP and we have to get the feds, the Army Corps of Engineers, to help either permit it so we can do it, or we can find grant money to do it. And we have to get federal funding.
but if it's the county property, why are we involved?
True. We don't think that's true.
I sent it to you in the email I sent you. That link is from the state and it shows that they own the waterways and everything we would have to do through the state to make sure that we can get in there and take care of anything. Now.
So hold on a second. The last meeting, hold on a second. The last meeting, you said Passaic River Park was the county.
That's their park.
The DEP could not go in there and clean it out, which I, by the way, did. All right, I tried to clean it out and move sticks.
Environmental Commission still here?
No, I'll say it publicly, because you know why? Because I'm trying to find solutions. We need action. We don't need red tape. We don't need bullshit. We need solutions. All right? And that's what we're looking for. That's what I'm looking for. That's what Herb's looking for. That gentleman is looking for. He's looking for. So his property, we're looking for solutions. We're not looking for BS. We're not looking
Keith, we're not
for-
giving you
Right.
BS. I disagree with you. The DPW literally hasn't ran the street sweeper because they have been going every single day to every waterway and taking pictures and marking down, overgrowth, can't get this in, cinder block, blah, 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 here, taking pictures every single place where there is something. Then we have to take it back and figure out what we can do, because you can only do things from the bank. You can't get into the tributaries, the creeks and the river. We just can't. We're government and we have to do it the right way. The things that we can't do, like the Passaic River, like the de-snagging and the desilting, that's why we're going to DEP on the 26th and to the Army Corps of Engineers. We have to get their help. And we've invited our neighbors, Summit, New Providence, Long Hill, Warren, because I've said this before, it's a regional approach. I can't clean up, even if I could, I can't clean up the portion in Berkeley Heights, and then there's blockages, in New Providence and Summit or in Long Hill, whatever. It has to be a regional approach. And to say, I'm never gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you, yeah, we're gonna clean it all up.
I am not
We can.
saying Andy Padini has to go in and clean the creek. I am not saying that.
We are creating solutions, and our engineer is he's analyzing the three major parts of town, giving us a proposal. We don't have extra money laying around. Maybe now we can use some of the storm bond money since we didn't use it. But we have to hire another DPW, maybe two DPW guys. If this is gonna be an ongoing maintenance thing, we can't just spend money we don't have. At best, there's a transfer period November 1st, but we don't have that kind of extra money laying around. Some of this maintenance stuff may have to wait until next year. We're also, confined by a 2% cap. So we can't go over 2% of what we spent in the previous budget. So we're trying to get as much in, we're trying to cut in other places, but every single day, our CFO, our clerk, our administrator, our DPW, our engineer have been working on this problem since July 15th. So I know you're frustrated. It's a long and arduous process. And let me tell you, I think it's amazing that you went in there up to your neck, I've heard, and clear that stuff out yourself and do it on your property. I think that's amazing that you're doing that, because who else would do that? And you did it in shorts and sneakers and not in like waders and gaiters and everything else. But be a partner with us. We are doing as much, I am telling you, I am assuring you, we are doing as much as we possibly
And you
can.
came in late, so you missed the mayor. She went through a list of items that we've been doing in the past 2 weeks of the storm and what we're working on. So you didn't have the benefit of hearing that, but she did recap
And
what's
we did
been
the
going
federal
on.
declaration, the president did not give us the federal declaration, so we're not getting any FEMA money. So we've been trying to recast old capital, so we don't spend against the 3 million as much as possible. We've only spent 7 million of the new money. So we're
7,000.
7,000, oh my gosh.
So can I ask a question?
Yes.
So if I fly a drone, get a boat down the Passaic River, okay, and I find blockage there, you're saying that Army Corps of Engineers has to take that out?
I'm just gonna read from,
Not only that, it's
Anywhere-
separate counties, sorry.
Yeah,
Sue,
anywhere-
Separate counties.
sorry.
I mean, at some point, I'm sorry, I'm not a political person, but at some time, we have to stop giving a shit about that it's this county and that it's affecting residents. I'm sorry.
Within the county, any work conducted in waterways such as flood mitigation projects generally requires permits from the NJDEP. That's the problem. You have to get permits. You
I
can't-
mean, some of the things, not for nothing, and I'm sure you guys have all seen this, there has been a news agency who found something that basically said silt removal and stuff like that is not part of the DEP thing.
That's not what I sent you on that.
It's not what you
website.
sent me, but,
Exactly. Well, that's from the state's website, so whatever they found
okay.
is probably not correct. So the minute you get somebody going in there, okay, they're probably gonna get arrested.
I'm gonna keep going, what I'm gonna keep doing is this, and I'll be blunt and straightforward in anything else. I am going to keep going in there and digging out that dirt. And guess what? Because that's a solution. If I have to wait for somebody else to do it, it's gonna be another flood for my property, for Herb's property, for Elaine's property, for these gentlemen's property.
You might not wanna publicly announce that. Because
I don't give a shit.
The problem
because-
is, what I sent you on that website is silt removal needs to be taken elsewhere other than just put back on the banks of wherever you're taking it.
Well, I mean, who's gonna stop
Put
me?
it back in there, and what you're doing is you're just gonna be chasing your tail, okay? And to another point is, when your waterways come down into that area in the Passaic, if that's all backed up, okay?
It's already backed up on my property, John.
Back up the hill, and I totally understand that.
It's already backed up. It can't get through, it's this wide. Angie saw it, it's this
It is.
friggin' wide. So you tell me how a creek that's 10 feet wide plus can get all of their water through a waterway like this. I'm not an engineer, but I can have a little common sense about fluid dynamics and say, guess what, guys? It's gonna take a really long time for a lot of water to get through this amount. My last point is this, is I wanna say something. Many of you were gracious enough to reply to my emails. I do appreciate it, John, you replied a couple of times with information. I read some of it, I didn't read all of it. Manny, you replied to some of it. I still have yet to get any reply, though, from the engineer about who is responsible for the creek behind my property that is not an easement and I believe is owned by the town. Because somebody, I'm not a lawyer, and it would probably be very tough to prove, but the property behind my house is probably Berkeley Heights property. And somebody who is smarter than me and more legalese can probably make an argument that if water comes from that creek owned by the town, comes and destroys properties, the town could be responsible.
We don't own waterways.
What is your address?
But are you talking about the grasses?
I've sent the emails like 3 times, Liza.
I haven't received.
You're on the first one at least.
So, because
So I was asked at the last meeting to send deeds, which I did. I sent the tax assessment.
We'll follow up with him, but he's been going to multiple.
Okay.
Okay, so he's here 3 days. Here's the update. Come,
Okay,
take this home.
I mean, if I gave these kinds of answers to my boss, I don't think I would be employed for very long. And I'm not, listen, I said,
I just said,
I
please
commend you
read
all for
this.
doing this. I'll get it.
Please read this because it lays out what we've done over the last.
And it's been a lot. It's
8
pretty
weeks.
extensive.
I'll read this on my time. Thank you. My last point, and then I'll be gone, is before I left, my wife said, you're gonna wear those here. And then she said, have fun arguing. I'm not trying to argue. I am trying to create solutions, trying to be better for the town. However, some of the behavior here today, earlier, is exactly why this town is called Bickering Heights.
And I apologize for my.
And that's,
I lost my,
Regardless.
yeah.
regardless, I've seen it in a couple of meetings, not necessarily only from you, Susan. And it's disgusting and it shouldn't be tolerated amongst any of you. It shouldn't be tolerated by us. It shouldn't be, we're the taxpayers. We are trying to get things done. Some people are very emotional and some people are very passionate about what goes on here. The behavior and I'm like that. I'm very much like that. I'm an ass at work. But you have to remember something. We are passionate, we are taxpayers, we feel like our money is going whatever, and you have to keep your shit in check.
So I appreciate that. I do. It's the first time I've lost my cool at a meeting in 6 years. So.
Can we maybe dispense with the swearing? Maybe dispense with the swearing.
Will we get kicked off of YouTube for that? So.
This is still
refrain
from the
using
children of
any
the,
curse words, if you could, because we have had issues with YouTube before.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Goodman at 140 Briarwood Drive East. I'm here to talk about the flood issues as well. I'm pleased to hear that you're going to be meeting with people from Army Corps of Engineers and the county and some other folks. I did email and that you responded to me today, and Liza, you responded to me today about the buildup of debris at that pipe that's right at where where it meets the Passaic River. And I agree with you 100%, Mayor, that the real problem is the Passaic River, and I know it's multi-jurisdictional and it's gonna take time, and there's work that needs to be done with that. But this pipe, where there's this buildup at the pipe, I don't understand why this has not been resolved yet. Because although I know like Keith cleared a bunch of stuff away from there and it's still not moving, and I get that. So, but when we have another heavy rainstorm and there's effectively a dam pulled up against that pipe, and all this water is coming from the creek and it's hitting that, it's gonna impede the flow and it's all gonna back up into our yards and basements again. You guys both said, you both answered me today, I appreciate that. You both said something a little bit different, but both of your answers had to do with the specialized equipment that's gonna be needed. You had said that DPW doesn't have it, so we're gonna have to subcontract it out. You had said that DPW is analyzing what special equipment. I honestly can't understand what we mean by special equipment. This guy went in with,
Yeah, no, it's
basketball
compacted in there.
shorts.
That's the
No,
problem.
but I'm not talking about silt on the bottom and a 200.
No, I know,
That's
yeah.
at the bottom, but I've sent you all pictures.
Yes,
You
yeah.
were there the other day. I was there today again. A lot of it is branches that someone with waders and some gloves can go on, pick up the branch and throw it, and pick up the next one and throw it. That's what this guy did. I'll go down there and do that. But what specialized equipment are we talking about? I'm not talking about every little piece, but you can get 95% of this is branches and soccer balls and Adirondack chairs and stuff like that that can be picked up with two hands. So what do we mean by specialized equipment?
I didn't reply to you, I didn't say that, I don't know.
You said.
I
I
said that the
You said that
DPW
DPW is assessing what equipment needs to be done.
Because
what they need, so it could be a chainsaw, it could be whatever. I spoke to them at the staff meeting today, and I said, please take care of this, it's been weeks now, so please go and take care of it. I saw it firsthand, I saw what Keith did, I saw how some of it's moved over. It's, even with what he did, it's still not flowing.
I get that, but, and I agree that the river is really the main problem.
Yeah,
but
as
that
long as
doesn't
you
change
understood
the
that
fact
point.
This, when we get another heavy rainstorm, all this water is gonna be pushing up against this dam that's
Yep.
against the thing. So what, you're saying that it's gonna be subcontracted out because we don't have the equipment. So what
Yes.
equipment are we talking?
We are getting it out. So apparently, like, the force of the flow of the water has compacted that mass of crap that's there. So it's very, very heavy. Also, you need to access from either side of the bank to get in there. So, I mean, the bottom line is, we don't have the equipment to do that, but the priority, we're getting quotes like this week because we want this done as soon as possible. So we're hoping in the next like week or so, it's going to be done.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah, that's
I'm sure
the
that some of it
priority.
is maybe really heavy, but if he was able to take half of this out with his bare hands, I feel like we're overcomplicating it a bit, that there is some stuff that could have been pulled out. I first emailed everyone on August 4th with pictures, brought it up at the August 7th meeting here. Emailed again on September 4th, and you responded and said that, we're looking into it, and now it's September 16th and we're still.
Yes, because
we're
it's
still
technically the
assessing.
county's property, that's the county's portion of the river. But they said that they would not clean it out. Our DPW director had a conversation with them, they would not clean it out because it's our storm pipe, our sewer pipe that's causing the blockage. So then they put the onus on us. So once they said that, we're like, okay, we're gonna get the contractors to get it out. So
So we're still.
if it could happen tomorrow, I would make it happen tomorrow. But we also have to follow certain procurement rules. If it's over a certain amount of money, we have to get more than.
Well, why can't it
two
just be two
quotes.
guys in waders and gloves?
If it was just two guys and waiters, I promise you, they would have had it done.
I mean, if you walk down there and you see what he cleared out by himself, you'll see that 80 or 90% of it can be cleared out just by two guys throwing logs off of the pile. It's really, that's mostly what it is.
So I need to double back with DPW. It might not just be the equipment she's talking about, and I don't know the answer, but we've talked about a lot of sections of town. If you just take the debris and you throw it on the bank, it's gonna just wash back in. So they might need a contractor to come in and haul it out, not only take it out, but haul it
I
out.
mean, really, and then maybe it's two guys with waders and gloves and a wheelbarrow, but it's not complicated.
It's not, yeah, well, I promise you, we're working on it.
Thank you.
Sai, we typically don't let people come up a second.
This is about the storm damage.
Doesn't matter, be brief. I'm gonna give you a minute.
Oh, so there's a special rule just for Sai. I hope that's documented. So just a quick follow-up to some of the responses that we heard, that people cannot get into the creeks or you might get arrested. I think John said to Keith that you don't want to advertise it, you might get arrested. just, I have some pictures and videos. I drive through New Providence for work. After the storm, every single day, you will see New Providence DPW trucks by every creek, clearing them with equipment, which is basically like a backhoe or something. So I'm curious. Some of the stuff that you tell here and which is documented as elected representatives after taking the oath, is it accurate? If they were going to arrest, who is enforcing it? I want to know who is enforcing people from not going and clearing the creeks. And if this was such a strict rule and we have to get DEP, NJDEP permits, how is our neighboring town able to clear it up?
I can't speak to what New Providence does, but we follow the DEP regulations.
And I can tell you that they do not go on to private property, because I've asked them, they do not go on to private property to clean out waterways. If they were there, that was most likely their property, township-owned property, because I asked them this.
So,
Just so you know, based on the state's website, since they own the waterways, the DEP requires permit for silt removal, for rock removal, for dirt removal, for dredging. Anything like that needs a permit. You wanna go in and start digging it up.
No, I'm actually going to go, I'm gonna come back by the next meeting. I'm gonna see how many permits have been issued, how many counties and how many townships that these permits have been issued to actually, and how soon do they get these permits? Because if they don't go into private properties, but Robbins Bridge is owned by the county. And I don't know if you guys are aware, when Robbins got repaved, just that particular land, as if it was like no man's land, our DPW did not put any any asphalt or anything. And I watch at least once in 3 months or 4 months, the county comes in just to inspect, but then they see what the state of the bridge, but they don't do anything. Our township doesn't do anything on that bridge because it's county. So you're saying our DPW cannot be on a county bridge with a backhoe to clear whatever Keith did with his hands? You need a permit for that?
I didn't talk about that at all.
No, I'm saying, you're saying DPW, the township cannot clear with a backhoe on private property, correct?
Correct.
But then if the bridge belongs to the county, the DPW can be on the bridge and use a backhoe, which we all.
I don't know.
That's what
I'm not gonna go on the record and then have a gotcha moment later if it's proven to
No,
be
no, it's,
wrong. and I
I'm going to
don't,
send you an
so.
email with the video of what the DPW in New Providence is doing with pictures. They're having their equipment on a bridge and
For
they're
their
doing it.
property.
Sure. So it's, yeah.
I didn't say yes, no, I confirm that they're doing that for their waterways that are their
So
property.
you're saying the waterway that is going under the bridge on Robbins, the bridge belongs to the county, the property behind Keith's house belongs to the township of Berkeley Heights.
I don't know, I don't know particulars.
So in Robbins,
Property.
What is
the
my question is, why can't the DPW use their existing equipment, be on the bridge and clear the debris?
We can't speak to what New Providence does.
No,
that's
I'm
right
asking
or
about our
wrong.
township.
We are doing the best we can to mitigate everything that we can and following DEP regulations. That's.
So
the
you have
answer.
applied for permits or not?
We're not there yet. I mean, we're still going through everything, getting proposals from our engineer.
So what's the target timeline for applying?
I don't know. Didn't expect to have a storm like that on July 14th.
Okay,
And even if we
interesting.
know the remedy, some of this is subject to the budget, you know that. It's not easy to make tax.
So
tax
coming
dollars
back to the
correct.
budget question, I would like to know how much money do we have? No, I want to know how much do we have in cap bank? How many millions do we have?
Off the top of my head, I have no idea.
It's not here right now.
So the cap bank is for contingencies, right? Every budget that the township approves, you put a certain percentage in the cap.
It might be something we consider.
No, so it is the contingency money in the cap bank. I've asked this question when I first moved into this town. The previous mayor said it's for a catastrophe, so catastrophic it has never happened again. So I'm asking, you just bonded $3 million of our taxpayer dollars.
Okay,
When you have cap bank money.
This is the final word. Some of this is subject to emergency and we're not at the emergency point anymore. We did the emergency work.
So cap bank money cannot be used for this.
Maybe.
It may be, it could be, but we still bonded 3 million. Thank you.
And we've used 7,000, just to be clear. Please, I hope it's late and we haven't even gotten to our agenda yet.
30 seconds. They're probably
There might be other residents who haven't had a chance.
There are, and then I step back, but there are some residents who went way over. So I just really have two things real quick. No questions, just.
Okay.
I won't do.
And we're gonna close the citizen hearing after this.
Sorry.
To the agenda.
So just to the point, where, Mr. Foster said about clearing out the creek. So, my 78-year-old neighbor, who you know, Bill, cannot clean out the creek, right? And there is significant damage. I think she wrote to the mayor, to the council, and as far as I know, I don't think Michaela has received any words. Like, so what is she supposed to do? Then I also want to echo Mr. Waddell's comments, going back to the artificial turf field. I guess I'm still baffled because I experienced all of the people writing to us. I experienced all of this, all of like how we're harming the community by not approving the lease so you can get a turf field. Yet it's only 6 months later that there's an environmental commission report saying like, oh, artificial turf is bad, that there's DEP issues. We could, even though Township owns part of the land, BOE owns part of the land, I don't think you needed a lease agreement for Board of Ed president, maybe, mayor, to show up at the fields, talk to the DEP and get the feedback there. I mean, we had so much pressure and all of a sudden it's like, oops, yeah, the environmental commission of the township could have done that assessment 6 months ago, a year ago, yet the entire campaign, including, your husband's run for the Board of Ed, where one of his top priorities was an artificial turf field, yet it's only now that we hear it.
Okay, thank you.
I have a quick question. Would you have allowed the DEP or anybody else come in and do a survey as a Board of Ed member? Would you have brought it to the Board of Ed?
Yeah, we were never asked, we were only.
No, I didn't ask you that. I asked you, would you allow the DEP or the environmental commission to come in and do a survey?
For the purposes of a turf field, absolutely. We were I asked the question, I asked Deb the question, I said, why do we need a lease to do this? Why can't we do this ahead of time? I asked the question, it's documented.
All right, let's close the citizen hearing.
We have one more. Right.
This gentleman has been waiting.
Oh my gosh, okay, sorry, come on up.
He's wearing Jets cuffs, leave him alone.
I apologize. I know this isn't as important as what you're going through.
If it's from you, it is important because every resident has something important.
Well, I don't live in Berkeley Heights. I've been here before. Larry Cohen, I live in Fanwood. I was before you late last year when you passed a resolution supporting the state's effort to pass a bill that would prohibit the retail sale of dogs, cats, and rabbits in pet stores. We had a great conversation and I was very appreciative of you doing that. That effort on the state level is ongoing. It's an uphill climb. And the organizations that are leading this effort have come to the conclusion that even though New Jersey has 149 towns that have passed their own ordinance to do this in their own towns, they would like more, to put more pressure on the state. And so I'm back here tonight to ask you to take the next logical step, follow up a resolution with your own ordinance stating exactly what you've already stated that you'd like the state to do, only saying that you would do it in Berkeley Heights.
Can you get a sample ordinance to Bill?
I emailed it to all of you a couple of weeks ago, but I have a hard copy right here.
Okay, I'm gonna ask because that's sort of his
Yeah.
background.
Yeah,
I'm
Bill
gonna
and I have been back and
to
forth.
spearhead that.
Thank you. Yeah, here's a hard, I can email the.
It's okay, if we have
You should
it,
have it if you go back a couple of weeks.
maybe let's make sure Angela has it as well, but Bill, can you just work with her on that? I
By the
don't
way-
think you were on it.
And thank you for your patience and waiting.
You were very patient.
Very patient.
Thank you, Larry.
Okay.
All right. Who's doing the closing?
Bill, no.
Okay, seeing that there's no one else available for comment, I move to close the citizen.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Kudo.
Aye.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado.
Yes.
Mrs. Pogue.
Yes. I move resolution 2025-266, resolution of the Township of Berkeley Heights in the County of Union, New Jersey, referring to the planning board for a review a redevelopment plan entitled Terrace 2 Redevelopment Plan pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law.
Second that.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Kudo.
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis. Yes. Mr. Machado.
Yes.
Mrs. Pogue.
Yes.
I move to adopt the consent agenda consisting of resolutions 2025-267 through 2025-287, excluding 2025-268.
Second.
Any discussion?
These resolutions may be approved by one motion.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Yes.
Mr. Kudo,
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis. Yes. Mr. Machado,
Yes.
Mrs. Pogue.
Yes.
Would you please read the ordinance?
Ordinance 2025-27, amending the Township Code for the Township of Berkeley Heights to amend chapter 13.12.260 and provide for the maintenance of the end user sewer agreement.
I move that the ordinance is heard by the clerk be open on first reading, October 2025. He says the first day for the public hearing, that the clerk be directed to advertise the same in the Courier News.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Kudo.
Aye.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis. Yes. Mr. Machado.
Yes.
Mrs. Pogue.
Yes.
Madam Clerk, can you read ordinance 2025-28? An ordinance authorizing the award of a contract to Verizon Wireless for lease of real property owned by the Township of Berkeley Heights located at 259 Diamond Hill Road in the Township of Berkeley Heights, also known as Block 4501, Lot 1 on the Township Tax Map.
I move that the ordinance as read by the clerk be offered on first reading, that October 7th, 2025 be set as the day for the public hearing, and that the clerk be directed to advertise same in the Courier News.
Okay. Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Kudo.
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis.
Yes.
Mr. Machado, sorry.
Yes.
Mrs. Pogue.
Yes.
All right, Township Council reports. Manny.
I'll be short. I'll let John do the National Guacamole Day today. I just want to remind everyone's Restaurant Month. You can have a really good time. Hit the restaurants, experiencebh.com. Today, went to the grand opening, the mayor and I, to Gabagoo. And it's posted over social media. It's there for the benefit of the residents. Please patronize the local restaurants. Tell them you're there for Restaurant Month, and if not, just buy a lot of food. So thank you.
Awesome. John?
The Historic Preservation Committee met. Our big thing is the Littell Lord Festival coming up on October 18th from noon to 4. Reindeer is October 19th. We have the library and the Rotary are going to be getting the table out there. Also, we have vendors, and it's also going to be a fishing derby through the PBA. It's going to be having the fishing derby out there. We raised the flag today in the service of Hispanic Heritage Month, but tomorrow is Citizenship Day. And it's an American Federal Observance that recognizes the adoption of the U.S. Constitution and for those who became U.S. citizens. I just wanted to mention that. I also want to mention, I'm going to leave the other two off that I had on here. World Mental Health Day is Friday, October 10th. And the reason I bring that up is because on Sunday, September 21st, is the Kimberly Ann Wilson Berkeley Heights 5K race for mental health. So if you want to get out there and do a nice walk or do a nice run, it's an awesome event, so come on out for it. The start time is 9:30 a.m.
What are the distances?
It's
5K. 5K, but I thought.
1.5 miles.
Yeah, there's a shorter one.
That's what I thought. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Margaret?
I am looking forward to starting up the Complete and Green Streets Committee with my friend Manny at the other end. So we're floating some dates among core committee members for our first committee meetings. And just a reminder to Berkeley Heights that kids are back in school. So what does that mean? Please slow down. Watch out for pedestrians, watch out for bikers. If you have a student in the schools, please review safety instructions with them. So that's it for me.
All right, thank you, Margaret. Bill?
Just wanted to say that this past week, I had the privilege of attending the September 11th memorial service and the distinct honor of ringing the bell. It was a profoundly somber moment, one that carried the weight of loss, remembrance, and resilience. Taking part in the ceremony was a reminder of the importance of pausing to honor those we lost, supporting those who still carry the grief, and reaffirming our collective commitment to never forget.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, bro.
No, Andrew. Susan?
Okay, so I submitted 2 grants in the last 3 weeks, $127,000 grant from Union County to go to Littell Lord, so fingers crossed on that one. And then a $15,000 grant to the state of New Jersey for the Mayor's Wellness Committee for I call it the Ivy Project, the Illustrative Veterans Yoga Project. And it's to bring yoga to help veterans with dealing with mental health. And it's illustrative because whatever they learn, they can then take with them and help others in that way. We have a grants committee meeting on Monday, and the meeting is specifically related to trying to get grants for flooding issues. That said, I want to wish everyone who celebrates a happy Rosh Hashanah. It's the Jewish New Year. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mayor's Wellness Committee, we have the autumn hike, October 26th at 11. We have the sound bowl meditation outside on November 22nd at 5. We're doing a Valentine's Love Yourself dance party at Disco Ride, date TBA. Mayor's Book Club this month is The Mountain Is You, if you want to read the book. Proud to announce that Berkeley Heights has been designated as the 995th community in the country to enroll in the AARP network of age-friendly states and communities. So we were designated, talked about Gabagool. The FIFA committee is getting started because that's upon us. And I just want to mention that I had a great discussion with the seniors at Woodcrest, talking about what's going on in the township and their need to have a flashing pedestrian sign so they can cross over the street to the Y. And that's all we're going to talk about tonight. Liza?
Will that be on our website?
Which one?
Everything?
We're working on it yet.
Perfect.
And lastly, I had a bunch of infrastructure updates that are, if residents want to know what's going on with a multitude of drainage projects, infrastructure updates, road paving we have, it's under our main website, under the infrastructure tab. This was longer, my closing remarks, so I'm just gonna shorten it. You know, children are dying of starvation and airstrikes in Gaza. Refugee families are fleeing their homes in the region. I actually wish more people were here to hear this, but maybe they'll hear it on YouTube. Many are dying trying to reach someplace safer for themselves and their kids. Lawmakers and other high-profile individuals are being shot dead or have attempts on their life simply because of political ideology. Right here in town, fires in the Highland community left some of our residents homeless and with nothing. We're blessed to live in a town we can gather safely, where our children can play and our neighbors wave to each other on the street. This is no small thing. It should not be taken for granted. Let us be civil to one another, even when we disagree. But most importantly, let us recognize that the challenges we face here at home, whether it's flooding, infrastructure, helping our children collectively rise to the educational challenges they face, or how to keep our town vibrant and welcoming, cannot be solved by division. They require us to work together collectively and collaboratively so that the outcomes we achieve are better for everyone, much like the flooding task force that's being established now. If the world has taught us anything recently, it's that life is too precious to waste on bitterness and division and constantly seeking out these gotcha moments. Let's choose gratitude and community. Let's choose to solve problems together with kindness and respect instead of suspicion and divisiveness, for the betterment of our town and to serve as positive examples for our kids. That's it. Thank you.
That was amazing.
I did something tonight that is not like me. And I had a hard day at work, and that's no excuse. And I usually am very civil in my discourse. So I really want to apologize to the community for, nobody was listening and I just got really frustrated, but I should not have reacted the way I did tonight.
No, you were civil. You were frustrated at the lack of focus on things that are important.
I may be sad, but I would not like it in my classroom if I saw that, so I would have the peacemaker come on over and give a little hug to someone who is frustrated. And so, Margaret, next time I want to do that, just give me a little hug. Aw, Mayor, thank you. But I apologize. I really do. But thank you for understanding where my frustration lied.
Hey, Bill, you want to approve the reports?
I move that that the township official reports be accepted and approved.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Kudo.
Yes.
Mr. Foster.
Yes.
Mrs. Illis. Yes. Mr. Machado
Yes.
and Mrs. Polk.
Yes.
All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Aye.
Let's have it.